Hello, and welcome to the Smoke Break podcast. Today, we have to talk about Chammy's new track, Slow Tie's new album, the Super Bowl, the Weeknd's performance at the Super Bowl, and of course, the best of all time sports people. Welcome! The regulars are on the couch. Ben and Andy, say hello.
Hello, how's it going?
Whoa, that's,
You just
whoa,
you both just kind of went, oh, and then just, how's it going?
How's it going?
I had it on like both ears. I was like, oh, that felt uneasy from the middle.
8D music.
The AD audio.
It's good, but it's so weird.
Make sure you wear headphones because you won't get the full experience.
Headphone warning. All right, let's get into it. So Chammy has a new track with Kirby.
Yes, he does, and it's featuring. I had Kian. Is it Kian Palmer or Kyan Palmer?
I think it's Kian. Is
Kian.
it C-I-A-N?
Kyan.
K Cyan.
No K.
Yeah,
Fuck.
because
Kyan.
Cyan is C.
Kyan.
Kyan Palmer.
It's like a mix of Kyle and Ryan. Kyan.
Okay.
It's a mixture of your brothers' names.
Yeah.
That's disgusting.
It's like Yeah.
Yeah, I recognise that name from somewhere. I feel like I've seen him featured on a couple other tracks though. Kyan Palmer. Do you guys know Kyan Palmer? I'm gonna have a look now because
Is he a producer for the track? or
he's the
does he do
singer.
vocals?
He does
Okay.
the vocals.
I
Yeah.
don't think I've heard of him before.
Because Chammy seems to always have almost like an end product, like finishing producer.
Yes.
Because obviously he did Lady Gaga's album, and there were a load of end production people on it. So like Blood Pop and Burns were quite big on the what's it called? Chromatica.
Army.
Yeah.
Oh wait, Chromatica. Yeah, but there
Chromatica,
was
the
other
album.
tracks like
So he might have featured on that, you know.
I don't know. Well, I mean, from what I gather here, I don't fuck all about this guy because he's got a song called "Why So Serious," and he's like ironically doing like Joker cosplay, therapy, antisocial societies, burn Mona Lisa. Yeah, it's pretty much like an edgy white boy. He's trying to be edgy, but you know, he's got blue hair.
Oh, there you go.
The male Karen.
He's
Darren.
yeah. He just seems from like those names like the ultimate fascist.
Yeah,
Like the
probably.
2021 fascist.
Yeah.
Blue hair,
Definitely
like
vote
burn
for
the
Trump.
Mona Lisa.
Definitely vote for
Oh,
Trump. Yeah.
well, his hair's blue. He might have gone Democrat.
I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't really want to know. But
Yeah.
to be fair to him, he did a good job.
It's
Yeah.
a good
The
track,
vocals-
It's a good track. Yeah.
Vocals were very strong on the track. He's been hitting them falsetto notes, them high notes. But I don't really want to talk about him. So let's move on to the main flavors.
The main Donnies.
So we have Chammy, who we've talked about before on the podcast,
Yep.
and Kirby, who's a British producer who went big because Oliver Heldens gave him a massive boost in his track Discharge. Remember the track?
Oh,
2014 to 2015. And yeah, dun 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 dun.
Yeah.
Dun, dun, dun. Yeah, that one. I don't know if you've heard it, but highly recommend you listen to it. But it's not his best track.
Nah.
What would you say Chammy's best? No, not Chammy. Kirby's best track is.
Oh. Oh, you've put me on the spot. I don't know, man. I don't want to pick one. You get
Go
me?
on, give us.
'Cause he's kind of had a progression throughout, and he's just been a constant improvement. He did come out with one quite recently with Mesto as well, though.
Bruh.
Bruh. That's not that recent, though.
That was 2017.
Yeah. Okay.
Recent.
Yeah. Yeah. I thought he had another one as well.
Well, he's done one with Mike Williams called "Take Me There," which is really underwhelming. That was super underwhelming. He's been doing a lot more like chill EDM.
Yeah.
So he had a song called I think. Oh,
He
it's
had an
called
EP, didn't he?
Lied to Superpowers. Baby got me like. Do you guys? Is there? I'm not sure if it's a game or not, but I've been listening to this song quite a lot. It's called Brawl Stars Anthem, but it's called Move.
I think Brawl Stars is a game.
Yeah, because it's
Yeah.
got a lot of like samples from like films and like games, like Mario, Goodfellas. Like the first like sample, even if I play it right now, would be like.
Oh my gosh!
Is that from a game? That you got.
Sounds like it's from a porn.
Sounds like
yeah.
Oh my
You
god,
listening to
step bro.
hentai, bro?
I want to find out what game that is. I'm downloading that shit. Like.
Best way to describe him is he is very much Future House, but he's got his own style of Future House. That's
Yeah.
what makes him so unique. And yeah, I'm surprised he hasn't collaborated with bigger artists like Oliver Heldens or Chammy, but now he's actually managed to do that. What do you think?
I really like the track.
Okay.
You're,
okay.
saying that like you don't.
I do like the track. I think I need to give it a few more listens, and I think it will be hit much more better in summer.
Oh yeah.
Because I know this is like, you know, the Pete songs they release in winter just to like, you know, prepare you for
Yeah.
winter, and you not winter, summer, and then you know that you're just going to be playing them over and over again because it's a summer anthem.
Yeah, definitely. That, and I guess with COVID and everything, they're kind of just releasing stuff when they feel like releasing it. There isn't there's no end in sight, so there isn't really a sort of, oh, I'll release it a month before this is happening, because
Yeah.
nothing is going on.
Yeah, they're not having to be like, bring out a song 2 weeks before I start touring. Or
Yeah.
start doing like shows or festivals and stuff like that, which they normally do because they want those songs to be fresh in fans' minds, and then when they go see them, it's great to see it. But obviously, at the moment, they're just, I guess, just trying to keep relevant. I guess
Yeah.
at the moment, because you can't
Keep the bank account
yeah, to be
in
fair,
a few
yeah,
digits.
keep food on the table, pretty much. Which I'm sure he's fine with.
But Kirby's living every like white boy producer's wet dream right now.
Yeah.
When you think about it,
How old is he now?
He must be. So Kirby, I'm pretty sure he's either 2 years above us or 2 years below us. Because I remember when he got signed to Spinning Records, he was about 16 or 17 years old.
Okay. Sorry, I just kicked you. I wasn't comfortable.
That was a
Yeah,
weird-
shut the fuck up.
Yeah, because he was really young when he signed to Spinning, and he's been at Spinning now since 2016. So I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, do you know what?
Maybe like 2021 then.
We'll find out right now because
Actually, I haven't heard of him before.
he's the
Really?
same age as he's the same
Where-
age. He's 22.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I hate you.
I hate you, but I love
fucking
you.
24. How do you think that makes me feel?
Yeah. You're worthless.
I'm worthless. I'm not signed to Spinning Records by now. Fuck's sake.
No, fair play to him though. I think it kind of it's a kind of It's like Chammy's kept the same sort of theme going on with his sort of vibe, like with sort of like, you know, the deep bass lines and sort of the weird like arpeggiated synths on top of the bass lines, which is kind of what Future House and Future Bounce is.
Yeah.
Having those like alternating things colliding together and like bouncing off each other. But I think it's a good vibe. I did like, when I was driving around today and it was quite good weather today, I was kind of like, yeah, okay, it's summer. But when it's summer, I know it's going to be better. Because I'm just like, you know, it's just like a slow burn. You need it to build up more and you appreciate it much more in the future.
Yeah. Like if when it was snowing a couple weeks ago, it then dropped, you'd be like, eh.
Yeah.
You'd be very
Where's
much
Mariah
meh.
Carey? I don't want Chammy right now. But out of 10, what would you say?
I give it a 7.5.
7.5?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was quite a bit different to what I expected, but I still really enjoy it.
Okay. Yeah, I think that's 7.5 is a fair. Ben, I know you've only recently listened to it.
Yeah, about 20 minutes ago.
Yeah.
I'll probably give it like a 7. From first impressions, it was good. It sounded different to, because I'm obviously not as big of a fan of Shammy or listened to that style of music for as long. But it did feel like it was slightly different to stuff on his latest album, which was a nice variation because his latest album's really the only catalogue of his music I've listened to. So yeah, solid 7, and that could go up with more listens. And obviously, as you said, like summer, it's just it'll just hit different.
Yeah, exactly. I think I'm with you there, Ben. I think 7 is what I'd give as well. And yeah, I think it probably, like you said, will get better with time. So who knows? I might change my mind in a second. So 7.1. I don't know. That's how I'm feeling right now. So I think we need to move on to the next big release.
Slow tie.
Slow tie.
British rapper from Nottingham has released second album, right?
Yeah, nothing great about Britain.
Nothing great about Britain, where he's like on like this, what, you know, the little medieval things where they chuck tomatoes
Yeah,
at you
yeah.
and bollock naked. Yeah, it's a good artwork cover. I liked it. But I haven't really listened to Nothing Great About Britain that much. I only really know Doorman. because I was
Doorman is
obsessed with
such a
Doorman.
good song.
Yeah.
I was obsessed with Doorman.
Well, I've got to say that as well. I've listened to some other songs on that album, but I have not given it. I've listened to this new album, which came out a couple of days ago now. I've listened to it a lot more than I have Nothing Great About Britain, which a lot of people might not like because I think that first album, a lot of his diehard fans are just, they have such an affinity for it.
Yeah.
But first impressions of this new album, I think it's amazing. I think it's great.
I feel his music in general just makes me quite on edge and anxious.
I think he has a good variation of that on this album though,
Yeah.
because I think on this on the CD, I think it's in two separate sides. I think
Two
it's
Yeah.
two discs. So the first 7 songs, one disc, other 7, another disc, and you can tell the stark difference between the first 7 and the second.
Yeah,
7.
definitely.
Because the first 7, what are some of the names of the songs?
45 Smoke.
Yeah.
45 Smoke
45
was such a...
What a way to start the
Yeah,
album.
it's just when
Bumperclock.
he starts at Bumperclock Dickhead.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, it's a
Cancelled
Cancelled.
featuring Skep. Right, so talk about let's mention some of the features here because he's got some mad features.
Yeah.
Skepta, ASAP Rocky, Dominic Fike, Denzel Curry, Deb Never. Who, by the way, I've never heard of Deb Never, so I'm not gonna be like, yeah, look at Deb Never. Have you guys heard of Deb Never?
Yeah, she's done one or two. She's featured on 1 or 2 Brockhampton tracks. So I think
Fantastic.
it's through Brockhampton because Slow Tie was on their last album,
Yeah.
and so was Deb Never. So I feel like they must have been in the studio at the same time.
Oh,
and then
that's
Slow
sick.
Tie and Deb Never through that.
Jeez.
So, yeah,
Okay.
James Blake and Mount Kimby. I don't know who Mount Kimby is, but we all know. I'm assuming we all know
Mount
James
Kimby's great
James
as well.
Blake. So he's one of the, I think it's similar to James Blake. He's got his British audience and he's got his American audience, which means he can collaborate with the American rappers. Like for example, James Blake's collaborated with Travis Scott and Kendrick. Am I right? in
Yeah.
saying? Yeah. So he's kind of collaborated with ASAP is mad and Denzel Curry. He's done another track with Denzel Curry. What was it called? Psycho. It's like you know how you said it
Was
gives
it
you.
one of the singles?
it
they
gives
brought
you-
out between the
It's
two
not on the album itself, but it's just them two together. And basically,
Is it Magic?
I want to. I feel
Yeah,
like it's called
maybe
Psycho.
it's Psycho because he had.
And you know how you're talking about like,
Yeah,
like
it's
the
Psycho.
Slow Ties tracks in general just give you anxiety.
Yep.
But that track is like
That
a
track.
horror movie, but like it's so intense, but it's so good at the same time. It's called Psycho. Yeah,
Yeah, great feature list to be honest.
I think it's brilliant. Yeah. So what would you say your personal highlights on from the record?
Get onto this.
Did we say it's called Tyrone?
No, we didn't.
It's
It's
Yeah,
called
it's
Tyrone.
Tyrone. Because Slow Tie's real name is Tyrone. Oh god, I had this before. Tyrone Kamone Frampton. I don't know if it's a Kamoni or Kamone.
I don't have a clue. I've never seen that name before in my life.
Yeah, but he's got a bit of he's caused a bit of controversy. Did you see his little
Yeah, was it
at the Enemy Awards
Yeah,
when he was kind of being a bit objectifying towards Catherine Ryan, the comedian?
I think that's what a lot of this album is about because, well, you obviously have the song "Cancelled," which I think is all about that.
Now you're
because
dripping
everybody
blood.
was just like Slow Tie cancelled
Yeah.
after that. So I think that song especially highlights what that whole situation because he has brought out singles since then, which have done well as well. So I think he's dealt with it quite well. Obviously, it's a situation that you need to learn from because he wasn't really acting in the right way.
There's also like a middle finger to it as well. He's like,
Yeah.
you can't cancel me.
Yeah.
You can't
It's like-
cancel this bit not being you can't cancel him.
Yeah.
Yeah,
no
'cause
matter
I
what.
think he says like fuck the Grammys and fuck. He names a lot of different music awards, so I think he's
Fuck the Grammys, fuck the VMAs, fuck the government, and fuck Boris.
yeah, which is all stuff that he loves
Yeah.
hated on.
Also, that was another moment when he went to I think it was the Mercury Awards. Did a performance and he held a severed head of Boris
Oh,
Johnson,
Yeah.
and then he
He's
did.
never been one to hide his feelings.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think he just doesn't give a fuck, and he wants everyone to know that.
yeah.
Like, honestly and truly, he's just like, I don't care what you think, and you shouldn't care
Yeah.
about what I do. You should just listen.
Yeah, if you like my music, then you do. If not, then
Yeah.
I couldn't care less.
And I think that's what a lot of artists don't have.
Yeah,
Like, a lot
it's
of them
too
are like,
easy to care, isn't it?
yeah. Because there's so many artists that are like, oh, I want everyone to listen to it. I want to, like, tour it. I want to do everything. And he's just there like, yeah, fuck everything. Like, fuck you.
Yeah. It would have been so easy for him to just go off the map after that.
Yeah.
Think that his career's over and then just fucking do nothing with his
Yeah.
life after that. But he's came back with what I think is a great album. I love the mix of first half of the album. It's just absolute
It goes
rage
hard.
of music.
It goes so hard.
Like all of them, you can even tell. I'm pretty sure. Has he done? I didn't even think about this, but I'm pretty sure all the first 7 songs are all in capital letters.
Yeah.
The other 7 are all in lowercase. So
What's the meaning behind it?
I think it's because the first 7 are really loud and the 7 after that are a lot quieter.
I don't know if you guys have this if you use this feature on Spotify where you can do crossfades, so it like plays 5 seconds early
Yeah,
the
yeah.
first
Oh,
song.
okay.
And when you play the album with crossfade on, it's like the transitions are smooth as butter. It's just like
Oh, as if he's done it on purpose.
yeah, it just blends well so together. But yeah, it blends really well together. That's
Shout out Apple Music and not having that feature. Probably haven't looked, but
yeah. I think my personal highlight was What, which is like the 40-second song. Which
What?
is what
what?
WOT what?
What?
Yeah, What was
What?
amazing. Mazza
Mazza.
Mazza's mad.
Mazza is a Mazza. But
He
yeah,
did that in. Have you seen the music video?
No.
No, that's in the cancelled one. At the start of it, he does the. Do you know that Wazza thingamajiggy? He does that, but he says Wagwan instead. So he
Okay.
has it like Skepta answers the phone and he goes Wagwan,
Yeah.
and then he has like loads of other people start doing it. It's mad. That made me think of it as.
that's Scary Movie, isn't it?
Is it from Scary Movie?
I'm pretty sure it's from Scary Movie.
I've just
Nah,
seen it as a YouTube
Scary
clip.
Movie was the What's Up thing is a Budweiser advert.
Wait, what? Wait, nah.
It
It's
is.
definitely. I feel like it's
No,
definitely
it's
from
a
Scary Movie.
Budweiser advert.
So what is it? What film is it from then?
I think they
I've only ever seen a Budweiser advert for it
yeah.
on YouTube.
It's
It's like a really, really OG YouTube clip.
yeah.
Mhm.
It's like they just start calling each other up like, oh, what are you doing? And they're like, oh, just having a few
It's
buds.
Scary
watching a
Movie.
game." It
It's
must have been
definitely-
after.
It's definitely Scary Movie. Well, I mean, I that's what I
They
know.
must have stolen it. Scary Movie steals
Yeah.
everything.
Budweiser sue them.
Ah, no. Now that you say that, it's ringing my bell. Now that you say that,
It rings a bell, not you're ringing my bell.
you're ringing my my memory bell's been dinged. But yeah, no, yeah,
Okay.
because they walk into this apartment, don't they? And then they're like, "What's up?" Yeah, I know. I
They're
got it.
just
I
on the
got it.
phone, and then it's just like they're all just there like ah.
Yeah, no, that's that. Yeah, I remember now.
All right, we're all on the same page.
Highlights from the album. I've got, I think, the ones that I found that I've been listening to the most, like 45 Smoke is a really nice like, intro to the album. You're like, if you want to get gassed, this is the type of shit that you're going to play. I really like the start to the second disc of it. So even though Play With Fire is on the first album, first disc, it feels like a bit of a slower, like transitional song into it. You know,
Yeah.
the one that's like Play With Fire, Fire, Play With Fire. It's a bit, it's not like fucking hard as shit
Yeah.
like the other 6.
But they're good.
I
There is a
really
good
like Terms as well. The one with
Dominic Fike and Denzel Curry.
yeah, because I think Dominic Fike does a really good, just amazing chorus.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
My
with
only
that, yeah.
issue is Denzel Curry's not on it more because he just does that kind of like scratch track that comes
Yeah,
in
yeah,
like
yeah.
every couple seconds. He doesn't actually have a verse, which would have been good. I haven't looked at who produced that track, but I would put some money on it being Kenny Beats
Yeah.
because Denzel and Dominic Fike I know
You're right.
have worked. Is it actually?
Is it actually?
Mate,
Don Maker, Tenny Beats, and JD Reed.
yeah. But yeah, that doesn't surprise me because Slow Tie has been on The Cave before, hasn't he?
I
So has
think
Denzel Curry, and Dominic Fike did that song with him, but with Kenny Beats, but I can't remember what it's called. But all of them have worked together before, and
Yeah.
it feels like they just had one sesh in the cave and probably created that song. It's quite cool how from the outside you can see how these like songs are.
how they start.
Yeah,
like,
you can
linking
be like,
together.
oh, so Dev never met probably through Brockhampton when they made the album 2019.
Oh, it's such
kinda-
a spider web.
yeah, because it's like we know we're not even there, but you can still tell how this kind of
Yeah.
the relationships might have been made to make these songs. I really rate the album.
It just surprises me that like he's managed to resonate with American audiences because he's so British. He's so
Very
quintessentially British. Like, even it's just to a
Even
point
with
of
an album, nothing great
to a
about
point
Britain.
to a
but
point of irony. Like because we're British and we kind of understand like the lingo and the message that he's getting across. It just surprises me that people like ASAP, Denzel Curry are actually like collaborating with him.
Yeah, there's so many terms he uses that I feel like might fly over a lot of
Yeah.
American fans' heads.
I just find it quite funny as well that ASAP Rocky and Skepta have worked together on Praise the Lord, and then they just so happen to have their tracks one after another,
Yeah.
like in the album. Like that's probably a coincidence, but it's just another thing of
Yeah.
like this interconnected web of just like
It's mad that you did a song with ASAP Rocky.
yeah.
Like I know I'm like sounding like I'm putting ASAP Rocky
A$AP's
on a
huge now.
pedestal.
He's like a modern
pedestal,
icon
yeah,
right now.
obviously.
Did any of you watch the Oxford TED Talk sort of thing he did?
Was that a while ago?
It was a few years ago,
I
and he
think
was
I've
talking
watched
about
some of
like
it, yeah.
being a creative and like just expressing yourself, no, if it's even through like fashion, music, art, or whatever. It was actually really good, but like a lot of everyone was like, "The hell is ASAP Rocky doing in
In a
Oxford?"
TED talk as well.
Those are actually really interesting because it's similar to a TED Talk, but instead it's just in front of like 50 Oxford students.
Obscure guests as well.
Yeah.
They've had like Tommy Robinson.
Yeah,
James
really,
Blunt.
really. I think
That's
they
like the
had-
range.
James
Like,
Blunt.
that's the range. James Blunt and Tommy
Yeah,
Robinson.
it's,
What
My life is
side does
brilliant.
he
I
fit?
don't like them, but
I imagine it's so useful for those Oxford students as well. If they're studying like music
Causes-
or fashion or something, it would be so because they get to ask some questions as well.
Yeah.
When are you ever gonna get to ask ASAP Rocky a question in that type of like you can ask him serious questions?
Yeah.
It's not like an awards show where you need to ask what brand he's wearing or
Yeah.
how you're feeling about this award. You can ask him like his process of making music or his producers and stuff like that. They're normally like an hour long or something like
Yeah,
that. So it's
yeah.
actually a good
a
conversation.
lot of controversy though, like especially the Tommy Robinson one, because obviously EDL.
Well, yeah,
and
that's
all that
just
shit.
going to bring
EDL.
controversy towards it, isn't it?
I do think his one is actually a really interesting watch. I do recommend just have a look at it. But
Okay.
like he gets absolutely grilled at the end. By
Really?
Like yeah,
Really?
It's people because he's like, I'm not racist, blah blah blah. I don't like Muslims or some stuff like that.
Oh, I thought you were still talking about ASAP Rocky.
No.
He's just like, I'm not racist, but
Yeah. No, that's definitely Tommy Robinson. That's
oh yeah.
Yeah, but like, yeah, I recommend just. I need to watch the James Blunt one actually. I'm quite curious to see what that would be.
I can't remember who I've watched ones of, but I've watched some ages ago, and it was somebody that was like super obscure that I didn't.
I feel like
expect
I've
to
seen
be
a
on it.
Jordan Peterson one before.
I feel like Jordan Peterson's definitely been on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, first one that comes up, Jordan
Oh really?
Peterson.
Yeah. I think I've seen clips of it.
Corbin,
Oh, jeez, not watching
Morgan Freeman,
that. Oh.
What are they called? Oxford University interview.
James Blunt, like I said, Stephen Merchant, the guy who wrote The Office.
That's
with
the
Ricky
one I
Gervais.
watched. I watched that one. That was great.
Ricky Gervais has been on it. Anne Widdecombe, Stephen Fry, obviously. I mean, Stephen Fry. Has been George Galloway, Sir Ian McKellen, Katie Hopkins.
Oh god.
Oh, see what I mean? Like they get some controversial people, and it's very surprising for like university is supposed to be a very progressive place, but according to my mate Gabriel, who's actually at Oxford right now, he says it's not actually done through the uni; it's all done through the union, and then they decide who they want to get, and that's why lots of the Oxford students don't like it that much. They don't like to associate themselves with Oxford Union because of the guests they get, like Katie Hopkins, Tommy Robinson, and Jordan Peterson. Controversy.
Yeah, I've
We-
watched the Ricky Gervais one, and I watched. They had the writers and some of the cast of Game of Thrones on it,
Oh,
which was really
sick.
interesting. Back when that show was relevant, but
And then it flopped.
yeah.
And then
Well,
we went
last
down the
season.
rabbit hole of Jordan Belfort.
Jordan Belfort's on it.
Do you Madden? Yeah, Jordan
Steve!
Belfort. Yeah, Jordan Belfort. That's gonna be. It's just gonna be about stocks and stuff. I can't be bothered to watch stuff like that. But you
Yeah.
guys are like, yeah, I love
To the
that.
moon.
But
Overall thoughts of the album?
Oh,
It's
yeah.
only been how many days did it come out?
Friday.
Did it come out Friday.
Friday, so it's Wednesday today.
It's Wednesday, my dudes.
Or should we say?
So about 5 days it's been out.
5 days.
It's hard to give like a rating this early. It feels like
Yeah.
disingenuine, but I only have good things. There's no songs where I'm like, yeah, let's skip this to get past it because
I
it's
do
like
think there are
what
some
like
skippable moments though.
Really?
NHS isn't. Not for me, man.
Come on, I like that song.
Focus, not for me. ADHD is just a really weird way to end it. I found it really weird the way he ended it with ADHD. That sounds like
Yeah,
that
yeah,
sounds
to be
like I'm
fair, it's a
criticising
bit-
someone's like
yeah.
condition.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't like the way his ADHD took
Yeah.
over. Then.
Great guy, but
ADHD.
I think
Yeah.
he does a good job of having a lot of different ideas through having so many tracks, but still only being 35 minutes. Like you can.
It's a
fly,
short
you can-
album.
You can fly through it like 14 tracks, 35 minutes. I don't know how long that makes the average one, but maybe 2.5 minutes.
I do have one gripe with the album though. His flows sound very similar to Stormzy or Wiley.
yeah, I didn't want to say it.
When
but
I compare like Wiley, I don't listen to Wiley, but Wiley flow I'm assuming is very inspired by like Wiley's flow in general. But like some of the tracks like you can just think bloody hell, his flow is just so similar to what Stormzy did on Wiley flow.
What I find really weird about the song Wiley Flow is Stormzy and Wiley had beef at the start of 2020,
What God,
and Wiley
so entertaining.
Wiley said the Wiley Flow was a par,
What do you mean by that?
like a diss,
Oh,
and he was kind of using it as an excuse to kind of start doing diss tracks.
yeah.
And I remember just listening to that line and being like, "What? No." Like, just no. How did you get that so wrong?
Wiley's been cancelled though, hasn't he?
Oh yeah, he
Is he?
made some really anti-Semitic comments, and he
Yeah.
was like, "Yeah, I might hate Jews, but at least I'm not a nonce."
He's definitely just doing it for clout and attention, though. You could just tell he's like, when he was doing his beef with Stormzy, he was like, we're going to get Eddie Hearn, we're going to have a rap battle in, like, in, you know, what do you call it?
Eddie Hearn
The O2
for a
arena.
rap battle.
I want all the money. He's basically, I don't know, it's basically his
But
way
if
of
you're coming at Stormzy, you know you're going to be making peas
Yeah.
from it. So it's a smart move. It was a smart move at the time, but then you just hear Stormzy's tracks and you're like, ah, poor guy.
Yeah, the future is now, old man.
Like I know people really respect Wiley, and I can't say I've listened to much of his stuff, but the tracks I've heard of Stormzy.
Heat wave.
Heatwave.
What's the one called? The one where he's talking about. Is he talking about Wiley's mum
Bossy.
on it or whatever?
What's
Oh, still disappointed.
Yeah,
he went that,
that is
Oh.
a ruthless track.
Your mumsy's banged up abroad, all because her son was a fraud.
Your mum's a whore.
Yeah,
Bars.
it was pretty much. Now she isn't a happy mummy anymore. Whore. But there's so many people that review that diss track, and like they're like, okay, I like this. Then you just hear the whore, and they pause it, and they get up, and they're like, oh, and I'm just there like, yeah, it was funny. And they're like, he's dissing his mums, bro.
But that's what he said in his Jonathan Ross interview. Whenever you do diss tracks, always go for the mum.
yeah.
Stormzy doesn't care because he knows he can kind of do what he wants.
He is, well, I mean,
Because-
he is like
King of grime.
King of Grime, yeah. Like Wiley's the godfather, and he's the king. So I mean, thank you for what you did, Wiley, but you can fucking do one, mate.
Yeah, there's
It's
your
just a passing of the torch,
yeah.
Exactly.
just in the most ruthless way.
Yeah, it's well, I don't know what the fuck I was gonna say. I was gonna do like an analogy of like a leader of a wolf pack, and like it's like a battle for the alpha male,
Okay.
and then the rest of the pack just leave the defeated
Yeah,
wolf
yeah.
to die.
Just yeah. Just chuck a bag of cash.
Anyway, out of
Fucking
10,
Dave and
what
H
do-
just like, yeah, fuck off, Wiley.
Fuck off, Wiley.
out of 10, how do you rate Tyrone?
8.
8.432 recurring.
I'm gonna give it a 7.5, same as the Chammy and Kirby.
Okay.
Okay. That's fair enough, Kyle. You're entitled to your opinion.
Even though it's fucking fair
Fair
enough, bro.
Just speak.
Just
Speak your truth.
Sorry, very obscure references
My
to
love language.
That's Cringe videos. Expect more of them.
Oh my god. Right.
Right.
We're going to move on to the big one.
Next scene.
The bowl of super noodles. The Super
I
Bowl.
thought you said Ebola super noodles.
did.
Wait,
I
what?
said
did.
the bowl of super noodles, i.e.
Yeah.
the Super Bowl.
Ebola X Super Noodles X Supreme
That would go for peas.
Spring Summer collection.
I mean, is there a podcast where we don't talk about this guy? Are we talking about because I don't want to talk about Tom Brady. He can do one.
A Bubba what?
Like-
A Bubba who?
Who the fuck is...
Abel Madonna Spy.
I'm not here to talk about Tom Brady because I don't follow the NFL.
Yeah,
It's just such an... I'm not saying it's irrelevant, but like I just don't follow it.
but given the fact that this is a music oriented podcast, we can talk about the halftime show.
Mm-hmm.
Ben, who was performing at the Super Bowl halftime show?
The weekday, I think it was. Was it
Oh,
Wednesday,
really?
Thursday?
Thursday,
It was
maybe
it was
Friday.
it was a
then.
week.
Yeah, Friday. Yeah, it was a weekend, of course. You're not going to hear a podcast by us where we don't mention his name.
The man doesn't miss.
No.
That's all I'm gonna say.
And let's disclaim it instantly. He did not get paid for the performance, and he had to put $7 million of his own money forward to actually be able to do it up to like the standard that you felt you wanted
Yeah.
to put. Because it's one of those things where if you're going to do it, it's one of the... It might be the biggest performance he ever does, because how many people watch it? Like 100 mil or
110.
something like that?
Gazillion.
Yeah. So it's probably...
Like
yeah.
I don't know if it's
Like
good
the
yet.
whole world,
Yeah,
like
the
all
whole
of
world.
America.
Yeah, there was
The
aliens.
entire
like,
galaxy, man.
But yeah, it'll probably be the most... It's got to be the most watched show he ever does. So you want to do it right. And
Yeah.
obviously, with COVID going on and stuff, it restricts him being able to have people feature on it.
That's as
I
close
think
to
that
a
was the
tour
biggest-
as he might have
Yeah.
for all of 2021.
I think that was the biggest issue. You kind of... It's got to be by far the hardest year to do the Super Bowl halftime show, because you're just restricted. Like,
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure they said to him, well, he didn't have any features. I'm not sure whether that was a restriction, but it would have first cost him a lot of money, because
Yeah.
he would have probably had to put the money up. And it would have just made it a lot harder, like, fucking just having to do social distancing and all that type of shit. But I thought he did a really good job for the situation, like, the opportunity that he had. And obviously, being a fan of him for so long, it felt like a proud moment.
Yeah,
Just being
like
like,
a
what the
proud
fuck?
dad. Being
Yeah.
like holy shit.
No, this guy was before he was like when he did the transition at the end where he did the House of Balloons Glass Table Girls.
I still wish
I
he
was
played
like-
that though. I still wish he did that. Even if it was like a bit K-Hoey and then you know the little weird thing when he had the camera. I just
Yeah.
wish he did it there. It would have been so good if
Yeah.
he could do 707 now. Just like imagine the scenes.
Because he
That's my
had
only
the
one
transition.
gripe
I feel like he wouldn't have been able to do like the whole song because
Yeah.
not as many people would have known it. But to know that he put that small part of the track in, he probably did like a minute of it, so it was actually quite good. Knowing that all of his original EXO fans are just going to be sat at home like
Crying.
you're doing that shit for us. Like, 'cause I'm pretty sure he wrote most of the trilogy when he was living on the street.
Yeah.
So to think that he's able to perform that shit in front of like the biggest stage was it was.
So which songs did he do from Trilogy? Did he do? He didn't do Wicked Games, did
He
he?
didn't do anything from trilogy except for that small like 1 minute interlude of
Yeah.
House of Balloons.
Right. But so he did do Earned It though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's go through from the start. He did
Call Out My Name.
Call Out My Name was the a cappella from the choir.
Yeah.
Then I opened up. Then it was Starboy.
Starboy.
And he did it in the same style as he did the Victoria's Secret runway show.
Yeah.
Oh, I haven't seen that.
It felt like he sped it up a bit. The beat. The
Yeah,
beat
yeah.
sounded. Yeah. He sounded like. I guess he's working within a certain time.
Gotta get through that shit, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I think you get like 15 minutes or something like that.
Yeah.
It seems like, looking back at like previous ones, it seems like 15 minutes is kind of how
Yeah.
long you get up there. So he went from Starboy into Can't Feel My Face.
Yeah.
Did he? Because did
Can't
he
Feel
do
My
that?
Fa- he
and
did
then
it-
he went into the looking around.
Oh,
yeah.
That's become a meme.
That
now,
is
isn't it?
the,
Yeah,
yeah,
that's
the
become such a
current best
good
meme
meme.
of 2021.
Kylian Mbappe looking for players better than him at Camp Nou.
I like that. I like
Oh,
that. I like it.
But yeah, he did Can't Feel My Face, and then he transitioned that into.
He did it.
That,
And,
that revitalized my love for Can't Feel My Face.
Before
I forgot
that,
how
he
much of
did.
a banger that was.
Did he do I Feel It Coming? Didn't he?
That's
He
it.
did that first, up
It
at
was
the top with
Call
Mr.
Out My
Guitar
Name,
Man with a
Starboy.
And then he did Earned It.
yeah. And then he
And
did
then
Earned
Went
It.
up to the top of the roof and did Save Your Tears.
I now
Yeah.
really respect Earned It a lot more, because that's the song, because it wasn't
That's
on
the song that
any,
made him big.
because it's a song that wasn't on a lot. Well, it's not on any of his albums. I never really listened to it that much. It's not on his albums.
It's
is
on
it?
The Beauty Behind the Madness.
Is
I'm
it on
pretty
Be
sure.
Right?
Yeah, yeah,
I'm
yeah.
pretty
I'm
sure
a
it
fake
is.
fan. It probably is.
Yeah.
But I never really listened to that song that much up
Yeah.
to other songs. It didn't really stand out. Like, if I'm thinking about that album, it's more like Acquainted and stuff like that,
Yeah,
or
yeah.
The Hills.
Come 4 times. Give me head all night.
But his performance of Earned It made, like, his vocals at the end, like how long the guy, I swear he smoked weed since he was 13. How the fuck does he still have the lung capacity? And how is he not fucking grovelly
That's
in his
because
throat?
he switched to MDMA by 17.
Yeah.
He was saving the lungs.
Yeah. But man, his performance was, yeah.
He's not EXO for any reason, mate. It stands for ecstasy and oxycontin.
Yeah,
Oh.
it is EXO till
Oh,
OD.
okay,
So
that-
it's,
I
It's
didn't-
not.
I didn't
It's,
fucking
it's
know
not
that.
hugs and
I
kisses.
didn't know that.
is it actually that XT and oxycodone?
Yeah,
Is it?
ecstasy and oxycontin. Yeah,
I'm a fake fan.
yeah.
But
It's not hugs and kisses, bro.
No.
Have you heard? Have you heard any of his lyrics?
Yes, I have. Yeah.
He did the
I know he
Hills,
talks
didn't
about
he?
drugs.
He did the Hills as well, didn't he?
Yeah. When did he do the Hills? Was it after?
It was like somewhere.
Oh, it was after Starboy. He did Starboy.
Is it that order?
Yeah, Starboy,
Oh.
The Hills, Can't Feel My Face, I Feel It Coming, Earned It. No, Save Your Tears, then Earned It,
Yeah.
and then into that House of Balloons interlude, into Blinding Lights.
Blinding Lights. Yeah.
Yeah.
God, that hurt my brain to
I
try
know,
and think
trying to-
Yeah,
through.
yeah. So it was
Because I just had
sto-
all the different
Yeah,
flashing lights,
yeah.
all the different
Oh,
scenes
different
and
colours,
mirrors, like
yeah.
the choir with the violins.
the-
Oh my
they
god!
were
The
great.
order is Starboy, The Hills, Can't Feel My Face, I Feel It Coming, Save Your Tears, Earned It, House of Balloons, Glass Table Girls, Blinding Lights.
Yeah.
Bang on.
Full marks. But, mate, I just love how he did it. He didn't censor himself too much. Like, even though he's
Yeah.
performing in front of like 100
Did he say
million
pussies and fucks and all that shit?
people. No, not that. But I mean like the creative.
Did he say titty?
Did he say titties and ass? But I mean, like, he didn't, like, he still had a fucking, like, thing come down at the start, which was, like, an angel
Oh,
with, like,
yeah,
red
yeah.
eyes and stuff. Like, he...
I thought that might have been like a Snow Child type thing because it was all
Oh,
white,
okay. Yeah.
but that might have just been
Fuck
me
knows.
being like Snow Child.
But, like, I
get the
I
reference.
don't know who did the whole direction for it, but I thought it was, like, even, like, the lights on the hands of all the people when they were doing
Iron
the House
Man.
of Balloons. It was
Iron
so
Man.
great for, like, seeing it on TV, you get all the flares from the hands. Like, the lights would be up and down, and
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was.
I thought all in all, it was a
it
fucking
was-
quality performance.
It was Iron Man 3, House Party Protocol.
Yeah, it was. I'm just.
Do you know the reference?
I know the reference.
I don't know the
It took me a
reference.
moment
Have you
to-
seen Iron Man 3?
Yeah, but I can't remember
You know-
shit.
you
It's
know
when
the
it's when
lines.
all of the Iron Man suits all come around. It's the House Party
okay.
Protocol because of all the lights on
Ah.
their hands. Bro, get in the fucking room.
That's what you're here for, mate. For the obscure
I'm, he-
references that no one gives a shit about.
I'm here for the mildly autistic thoughts that just come out. House Party, Iron Man.
I thought it was great.
One
He
thing,
was-
one thing I will say about all the dances is, if you rewatch it, you'll probably notice it, but you might not have noticed it the first time. There was one dancer whose bandages were slightly different for the eye slots, so everyone had really wide open ones, and one of them had a triangle. And basically, that was a kid who has on TikTok done dances to every single Weekend song. And he's heavily autistic. He can't speak, but he's really into dancing and he really loves the Weekend's music. And so the Weekend
so
actually
sweet.
brought
I know,
him
yeah.
So fucking
to
sweet,
perform.
man. That's so cool. That's sick.
Like I read it like I think it was like a few hours after I'd woken up, like the day after, and I just read it, and like he's just this like 15, 16-year-old kid.
He's just
And
obsessed with the
yeah,
weekend.
and so he
Oh, that is such
so
a
he
dream come
yeah,
true.
and he
Like,
purposely did it, and you can see him when he's in like the mirrors with all the lights where he's doing the looking
Yeah.
around. You can see him there, and then
oh, is he
he's-
one of the ones in there
and
as
then
well?
yeah,
That's
and then
quality.
he's as like he's walking out, and it's kind of got the dub 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 dub.
Yeah.
Like at the start, you can see he's one of the first as they start panning along to the
yeah,
channel
yeah.
that he walks down. Like he's done it intentionally to be like, that's him, because I remember seeing it and being like, why is that one?
That's something that doesn't get like publicized. Like I've read a lot about the show, but I haven't heard that, and it's
Yeah.
like that's so
He's bringing the whole team with him.
that's so sweet. That is so sweet.
Did you see the
Yeah.
TikToks of like behind the scenes of like the dancers because they got
No.
escorted in a big bus, like police surrounded the bus so that they wouldn't get raided or anything, and then they go into like the Super Bowl stadium, and like they're all backstage with the Weeknd, like all getting ready, and like there was he filmed himself. Like, I was this close to the Weeknd before we did the performance. It
Yeah.
was like the coolest thing. I can't remember. It's like, you know, those like audio commentaries, but it's like the computer sound. It's like chalky milk make me feel happy.
Chocolate milk will make you feel better.
Yeah, but that was like, that's so cool. Imagine being a part of that, because I feel like anyone could pull off the dance, because they're pretty simple dances.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it was just more like act drunk and also just stand still for a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So I honestly I was really, we know we were talking about it before. I was really worried about how he would pull it off, because I was comparing it to like Lady Gaga, Shakira, Michael Jackson, and I was just so like
So
shocked
I heard
at how
him
fucking
confirm
well he
before
did.
that he said he wasn't going to have any guests, and I was like, I don't know how the masses are going to like that, because we're going to be fine with it, because we're like, it's
Yeah.
fucking Weekend.
I had
That's
faith in
more
him.
time for the weekend.
Yeah.
It's all right. It would have been nice if he brought out, imagine he brought out like Drake or something
Yeah.
like that. That would have been amazing.
Yeah.
Or even like Lana Del Rey for like Stargirl
Stargirl.
interlude or something.
Yeah, but Stargirl's a bit explicit though.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah,
It's
about, in
about
the kitchen.
getting
Wait,
Ray in
La-
the kitchen.
Lana Del Rey.
Yeah.
Lana Del Rey just has weird explicit
She's
lines
so
in her song.
explicit.
She has
apparently her pussy tastes
like
like
Pepsi Cola. That's what I was gonna say. She has a song, and the opening line to it is "My pussy tastes just
It's
like
the Pepsi
Cola."
halftime show as well. Mate,
Yes!
Lana,
Yes!
you were made for this. You were made for this.
What's
Missed
Video
opportunity.
sponsored by.
what's
Such a missed opportunity.
what's
Oh my
what's
God.
Lana backwards?
Anal.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, that's as far as I
I
go.
know.
yeah. Fair enough.
No.
Speak your truth.
A lot of people were complaining about his mic, because I think his mic was a bit fucked at some
It
points.
was-
What? Really?
I think at the start it was a bit quiet, but they definitely adjusted it.
Yeah.
Oh,
It,
I didn't.
it
bother- didn't
improved
bother me.
throughout,
I think
and I'm
it's
not sure if that was
because
the
so
crowd
much
noise.
of the choir and the
He was
and
doing
the
a lot.
orchestra were quite loud.
Yeah.
I feel like you could still
He was
hear
doing
his
a lot of this
voice.
though. You know, because he
Yeah,
when he was
he was
like-
doing
Oh,
his
yeah.
little like Michael Jackson dance moves and shit like that. He's clearly
Oh,
took
he
a
was
lot of inspiration.
vibing.
He was. I've never seen him vibe
He
more
was
than that on stage.
feeling himself.
He was off
It's
his
the
head.
next evolution, man. Because like whenever he's been very static in like, I think it was the Starboy tour. When you watched like his performance at Coachella,
If you
he's
watch
very
him, like-
static. He's
If
just
you
very
watch him like a year or two ago, he'd
Yeah.
stand there like this for like an hour and a half, maybe a bit of arm movement. But I feel like since then, like
Yeah.
I feel like especially with this persona for this album, he's become so much more confident. I feel like you saw it most in the
I think
was
he
it the
finally started
Blinding Lights
stretching.
video? Remember when he's like dancing in the street and shit like that?
Yeah, yeah.
And then right at the end when they have all the credits and stuff, he's like kind of acting crazy when he's like trying to get a car and he's kind of like making weird
Yeah.
movements. I'm like he's proper feeling himself because he seems so much more confident and comfortable as a character, because it's not necessarily, I guess it helps because you're just like, oh fuck it, this isn't me,
Yeah.
I'm trying to
Yeah.
portray somebody else.
Do you think it was like with the other albums because he was so like he's such an introvert in general? Like
Yeah.
there were stories he always used to do like half a bottle of Henny before he'd go out on stage. Do you think the
Fucking
difference?
hell.
The
That's
difference
what
is now.
his one Zane Lowe, his one interview he did with Zane Lowe, I think, as a Beats One interview, and he said, yeah, before his shows, I don't know whether, because I think this was when Starboy was out, or Be It Behind the Madness. It was like
Starboy. I think it
2014,
was Starboy.
2015.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my god, first time he's ever done like an on-camera interview. It was like 45 minutes as
Did
well.
you see the thing he did with James Corden?
Yeah. Oh my god, it's so funny.
It's
I
funny.
don't think I have.
It's like, you know, James Corden humor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's just like right.
So it's
He's
British
trying to
humor,
help-
so it's
yeah.
funny.
He's
It's
trying to help
actually
the
funny.
weekend with his halftime show.
and
So
the Weeknd
but
speaks
it's
so
like-
much in
okay.
it.
Yeah.
It's like it feels so weird, like hearing his voice, because obviously he's got quite a little bit of a high pitched voice.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
got
But
quite
like
a
it's just
feminine.
like because it's Canadian. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but it's
Hey.
like it's like so weird. Like it's actually real. And then
Well-
everyone in the comments is like, James Corden needs to realize how fucking lucky he is. He actually managed to do that.
A lot
Yeah.
of people have not actually. Yeah, it would take a lot for, but that just shows it seems like he's proper coming out of his shell now,
Yeah.
because
'Cause
he's
he did,
way more
um,
open to doing stuff.
He
like
did
that.
an episode of American Dad.
He did, yeah.
He did,
He-
yeah.
And he's literally got a song in that about like, what's your secret for sounding so angelic? And he's like, I'm a virgin.
Yeah.
And it's like he's literally got a
Yeah.
song where he's just like, I'm a virgin.
I haven't watched that episode yet. I want to watch that actually.
No, don't do it.
Off cue reference.
What else was I gonna say? Oh, it's gone now. The reference has completely taken me like way off.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I reckon the reason why he can be such an introvert and why like James Corden kind of brought a lot out of him is because of the way Americans do talk shows.
Right.
Because Americans will do like the Graham Norton show or Jonathan Ross, and they are so much more open. They can have like a drink. They can do whatever they can do whatever they want. Talk about whatever story. They're just there, and they can relax and they have a really good time. Whereas if you look at a lot of the late night shows and stuff like that, it's always like, "How you doing? How's family? What you been doing recently?" And they're like, "Well, working."
Your
I'm
dick
promo-
pic was exposed.
Yeah. Nice guy.
It's like when
They just like they show it to the audience.
It's like when Justin Bieber's like when he was he got butt naked in the swimming pool, and then James Corden did like the couple karaoke, and he was like, "Nice cock, bro."
Nice guy.
But yeah, you will never see. I don't think The Weeknd will ever do a like late night show, but especially I don't think he'd do one in the US like a Fallon or anything like that.
Yeah.
I just couldn't imagine him sat there like just with an audience in front of him talking, knowing that so many people. It's just not really.
Yeah.
From what I've seen, it's just not really the thing. As you were saying, he used to drink. I don't know whether he still does, but he used to drink like half a bottle of Hennessy before every performance. And this was when he was performing in front of.
Tens of thousands.
Nah, but I mean, like, this was when he was performing in front of, like, 200, 300
Oh,
people.
yeah.
Imagine what it's like now. Like, it's got to be 2 bottles of Henny at least. Like,
Yeah.
he's got to be blottoed, like.
That's like an IV drip all day.
No,
But
I
he
reckon
seems-
he's jacked underneath that red suit.
Really?
I reckon that's.
I reckon he's thick.
Thick boy.
swole.
But, yeah, he's just, through this, like, newfound confidence, I feel like it's just evolving his performance because he's always going to sound good as fuck when he sings. Like, he's doing this added performance, but he wasn't there, like, like out of breath.
I'm surprised he
Doing,
wasn't
like,
out of
dance
breath.
moves.
Doing all the up
Yeah.
and down between the things. There was
Yeah.
never a point where he was kind of like,
Cardio, man.
Like, as long as you're still able to, because what you see is a lot of artists try to evolve and do like bigger performances, especially for something like the Super Bowl.
yeah.
But then they just fucking mime. Like, they'll just be like, okay, I won't bother singing a song because I'm doing some crazy dance moves. He kept it to where he's like, I know I can do these simple enough dance moves, but still sound good.
Yeah.
Because imagine The Weeknd miming for a show.
I would be
it
outraged.
would make no sense.
That infuriated me
it's
when
like,
Chili
that's
Peppers
your-
did that. Infuriated me when they
Yeah.
did that.
Did they?
Yeah, when they did the Super Bowl, it was all mimed pretty much.
You can always tell as well, and it's just like,
You can just tell by how far away from the mic they are.
yeah.
Because
Because you can see when The Weeknd was going like that, you could hear
yeah,
the
it's like
difference. Yeah.
But I think the worst one was that I've seen at least recently was Katy Perry's one. Because she did like she did
Was it Left Shark or whatever it is? Yeah, Left Shark.
but
Stole the show.
but she was just she just started like singing from here.
And you're
she-
just
she
like,
did,
you don't
raw,
sound any
and she was like,
different.
and you're gonna hear me, and then she did like the raw, and she's
Yeah.
doing out here, but it's perfect.
Yeah.
And you probably couldn't hear what the fuck I was saying there because
Yeah.
my mic was so far away.
Yeah.
But that goes to show you exactly
Yeah.
like the audio difference.
Interoral time difference.
One more time.
Interoral time difference.
You want oral?
Aoral, as in écouter.
Ah.
The ear.
you want some gluck gluck?
you want glug in your ear? Bit of a different one.
What would you say is your favorite Super Bowl? Would you say that's your favorite Super Bowl, guys?
Super Bowl 55.
Which was?
Weekend's performance.
I don't really
I'm
keep
just
on the
gonna
numbers,
be.
man.
I'm gonna be biased. Yeah.
Yeah, you think
It's-
that's your
yeah.
favourite? I'd
I
say
have enjoyed some over the
It's-
years, but
It's the most recent in the memory as well. Like I don't like Coldplay's one. I didn't go and fucking sit down and watch Coldplay's one.
Did
I
you
know,
like it?
I know it happened.
Oh, you
I
haven't
don't
watched
think I've seen it like
Alright.
start to finish.
It's
I've just
pretty
seen
good.
clips of it. It is pretty
because
good.
Bruno and Beyonce steal the
Bruno
show.
Mars was
Yeah.
sick. I was just about to say I enjoyed the Bruno Mars one, but he was just a feature, wasn't he, on it? Or was it a couple of them that kind of like
Yeah,
headed
Bruno
it
Mars
up?
did it either like a year later or the year before that. But he
was great.
him and
but
Beyonce
he's
had
just
like a
really
little-
good performer as well.
a little
They had
like
a little-
standoff. And
yeah,
it was
yeah, I
really
remember
fucking
that.
good.
Yeah.
And I think Beyonce nearly slipped in it, but she like recovered
Yeah,
so
yeah.
well. But I'd say it's probably in my top three. I wouldn't say it's my favorite.
Mm-hmm.
I think probably Shakira and J Lo was my favorite. because that was just incredible.
You
Like,
just love Bunda.
Yeah.
I love them hips.
That was our Bundesliga.
And also,
Yeah,
La-
hips
Lady
don't
Gaga
lie.
was amazing as well. I thought Lady Gaga was incredible.
Mm.
Have you seen the Lady Gaga one?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh, it's sensational, man.
Sensational.
Wow.
Cracking up,
enough.
though. They need that at footy matches every week. It's just like, but because it's like games every week, they just get some
been-
local.
it was
like,
like, it was that kid and it was like, oh, that atmosphere was absolutely not in South Africa.
Oh,
it was
I know
absolutely
what
electric.
you want
I've never
about.
experienced
Oh.
anything like that
It
before.
was just absolutely incredible. The atmosphere electric. People on shoulders. It almost sounds like Greta Thunberg.
Oh my god, yeah.
How dare you? It's the exact same tone.
The anti-Funberg, yeah. Well, I don't talk in ifs or buts. I talk in absolutes.
that clip is so great. If you're what is it? If your auntie had a dick, she'd be your uncle or whatever. That's a line, isn't it?
Oh.
From the Arsenal. He's the one that says, "I don't speak in ifs or buts. I speak in absolute."
The Scouse
Like
guy.
if your auntie had a penis, she'd be your uncle.
I was thinking,
what
you know,
It's something similar
you
to
know,
that. That's definitely
have you
it.
seen? Have you
Don't
seen?
speak
Have you
in ifs,
seen?
buts,
Christ.
rats.
Have you seen the? I thought you were trying to make a reference from. Have you seen the Gino De Camp one?
Oh,
No, I
no,
don't
They come
think
back,
so.
where it's
grandma
like,
had
if my
wheels, she-
grandmother had wheels, she'd have been a bike.
Oh yeah, and they cry. Who is it?
It's
Holly
like
Willoughby and
most
they,
Paul
iconic
Schofield,
British
yeah.
moments is like, why are you coming first? About
Yeah.
who?
And then if my grandmother had wheels.
And then come on England. Ooh.
yeah, because what does she say? She's like, it's basically a carbonara.
If
isn't
this
it?
had
And then-
ham, it would be closer to a British carbonara. And he's just there like,
Feels like, oh,
the disrespect.
if my grandmother had wheels, she'd have been a bike.
It's
Hold on,
what is it? And then when he says when he's doing like toad in a hole, he's like sausage in a hole. It just sounds fantastic. Iconic,
he
man.
is so funny. I don't know what the show's called, but he did it with.
Celebrity Juice. I think you're thinking of
No, I'm thinking of like a cooking one that he did with.
Gino, Gordon, and Fred.
Yes, I don't know what it's called, but it's fucking hilarious.
It's like their road trip or something.
yeah,
like
I've
that.
just seen
Yeah.
like
It's
YouTube clips
so
of it, but
funny,
it's so
man.
funny.
When they do the
the
THC.
The THC one.
He just puts the headband on and he's there like, can I have some water, please?
But then immediately after that, they do goat yoga.
I've actually seen
I
that
haven't
before. I
seen
haven't
that.
seen
I'm sure
them
one
do
of the
it,
goats
but-
shits on one of them as well. It's so
I
honestly.
need to
really
watch like
it's
full
on-
episodes of that
it's
show
on
because
ITV
it
Hub,
is
I think. It's
havoc,
so
like,
funny, man. I really recommend it. I've really enjoyed that show, and I think they're doing another series as well.
Oh,
Because they're just like, it's just a match made in heaven, all three
Yeah.
of them.
Yeah.
There's like Gordon's like the really intense one, Gino's like the relaxed one, and
Gordon's like the headmaster.
then,
Yeah.
Gino's
Gino's
like the
off-kilter,
cool kid.
Yeah.
the cool kid who's like the annoying
And
brother.
Fred is the easily influenced one who's
Yeah.
just like, fuck it, I'm gonna mess about.
And also there's an episode where Fred and Gino get bollock naked in front of Gordon's mum. Yeah, and then
shit.
Gordon's mum's
Did
like
you know,
full of nympho, like, ooh, I like what I see.
And Gino's son is going out with Gordon's daughter.
Lucia and what's her name?
Tilly?
Tilly. Yeah,
Tilly and
I always
What the fuck's
see
his-
him like doing stupid dances with her on TikTok, and he's so uncoordinated. Like it's a nice
With
moment.
Gordon
'cause it's
Ramsay.
just, yeah,
Yes,
he's
like-
just there doing the whole like that, and I'm like, just stick to the cooking, mate. But
There's roasts of people on TikTok as well.
oh my god,
Oh.
it's the best.
Oh. Gordon Ramsay going goat
Yeah.
tier, man.
How the fuck did we get from halftime Super Bowl show
Yeah.
to Gordon Ramsay? But
Gordon Ramsay's
fair
the
enough.
goat, bro.
He is the guy.
Talking of goats though, with this Super Bowl,
Meh.
I know it caused.
Go on, continue.
Oh,
Like, you just reminded me of an old Vine. Do you remember when Taylor Swift had "I Knew You Were Trouble" and then the goat just comes in?
now I'm lying on the cold hard ground.
So, I don't know who the journalist was or the pundit, but he released the thing after the Super Bowl because obviously Tom Brady's team won, and he was like, "Tom Brady is the goat of all sportsmen."
7 Super Bowls he's won,
Yeah.
which is unrivaled
Yeah.
by.
Fair enough.
And even if you're
Fair
not into the
enough.
sport, he
Speak
is
your truth.
he is by far the greatest of all time in a sport. Like it's one of those
Yeah.
things where
Yeah.
he has done something that no one ever. I think the most that somebody's ever been in a Super Bowl except for him is 5 times. So for him to win it 7 times, when
Out
the
of
most
9?
somebody else, I think is 10.
Yeah,
7 out
winning
of
7
10.
out of
like,
10,
being-
70%.
He's been in 10. The second most someone has been in 5. Like that is, And for him, this was his. I won't speak about it too much, but this was his first season with this new team, so everyone was interested to see whether he still had the magic, the spark to be able to do it with a different coach, different players.
I'm sorry, but
And-
the only thing I know about Tom Brady is, you know, when that TED 2 scene where they tried to extract his sperm from him.
Yeah.
And it's like, who can we get? Whose sperm is like a pure specimen? And they fucking break into us and try to jack him off. And get his- That's the only thing I know about
Yeah.
Tom Brady and the fact
That's
that
what you need to know, really. He's good at American football, and yeah. But yeah, fair enough to him. It was.
Fair enough.
Fair enough. I only stayed up. I
Fuck's
watched,
sake.
speak your truth. I watched the first half and then a halftime show, and then I went to bed. And quite happy I did because I wanted the other team to win. And they got shafted,
Ooh.
so it wasn't really worth watching. But yeah, it was just
So
another
who was
Tom
it?
Brady.
The Chiefs and
Chiefs and the Buccaneers.
Buccaneers.
So
That's the one.
yeah, Tom Brady's the Buccaneers quarterback.
And it was 31-9.
It was like 9, yeah. So yeah, Chiefs didn't even get a single touchdown. Yeah, I think it was all just like conversions, field goals, whatever.
Yeah. So anyway, the list that I think it's a U.S. sports radio
Yeah.
show.
That Andy was
And
referring to.
This guy is extremely reputable. He's very good with NFL, NHL, NBA, all very American central sports. And he came up with a list of who he thought would be. You nearly fool. He came up with a list of who he thought were the 10 most like world-renowned, famous, like irrespective of sport, who was everyone talking about?
Yeah. Who
And
does everyone know and who does
yeah,
everyone talk
so
about?
we'll probably put a screenshot up of the list on screen just so you can have a quick read through it.
Yeah.
Don't make him edit more than he has to. But it's very US centric, isn't it? Like
Yeah.
I can't remember everybody that he had on his list.
I think I'm pretty sure it went Brady, LeBron James, Steph Curry. There was another American player.
what was it? NBA.
Oh man, where is it? I can't find it. What's the guy's name? Do you know the guy's name?
Well, the
Just
journalist.
put in the top 10 most famous.
Yeah, most famous sports.
Watch Mojo.
Top 10
You're
sport
watching
crossovers.
Mojo. So the list goes. I'll go from number 10 to 1. So we've got Roger Federer, Floyd Mayweather, Serena Williams, Aaron Rodgers, Lionel Messi, Cristiano Ronaldo, Steph Curry, Tiger Woods, LeBron James,
LeBron James.
Tom Brady.
So that was a list that journalist went for.
What do you
Yeah.
think? I think it's like, it's like every alien attack that comes into every Hollywood film, and it's around the world and they're attacking, and the only place that they attack is
America.
I like
Yeah.
the way you said that, America.
It's
Go through the list and see who we agree with
Right.
or maybe disagree with.
Do you agree with number 10, Roger Federer? Higher or lower?
I think in terms of tennis, he's top.
I think we shouldn't really talk about do we agree with the list. I think we should give we've got our own
Yeah.
list, haven't we?
Yeah.
So,
Because
I
there's an issue. Sorry, I'm just going to say there's an issue of a difference between famous, because maybe famous you wouldn't put him on there, but influential, you'd have to put him on there because
Huge.
he's like the
Huge.
biggest tennis player there's been at least in the last 20 years.
Yeah.
So I think there's a big difference between that because I feel like a lot of NBA stars nowadays or football players, they're going to be so much more famous than Federer. Like if you just ask
Oh,
a
yeah,
random
yeah.
person on the street, like if you know who Ronaldo is versus do you know who Federer, I feel like obviously a lot more people are going to say Ronaldo.
Yeah. If you said to anyone in like South America,
Mhm.
who's
Yeah.
Federer, because tennis isn't a big sport there.
Yeah. So yeah, I think there's a difference between the fame and
they might even know
obviously the
Nadal more than Federer
Yeah.
because
He's
obviously
Spanish, yeah.
Latino. Right. So we've all got our list. How have you done your list? Because I've done my list individual sports. There's only one sport that I've done twice for two different genders.
Okay.
So I've got one female, but the others they're all individual sports. So are we doing top 10? Because I've got 10, similar to what the
Yeah,
journalist did.
I've got 10, and then I've got a load of like honorable mentions
Honorable mentions, yeah,
for
of course.
those that are just like they're the goats in their sport, or they're historically just incredible people. But like nowadays, their relevance is kind of like
Yeah.
it's teetered off.
So my list is relevant to me. It's my opinion because I don't. Firstly, there are sports that I just don't even associate with, like NFL and NBA. I don't watch it. I don't really know much about it. I know the names, like, you know, obviously Tom Brady, Michael Jordan, LeBron, Kobe, and who else? Steph Curry. But my number 10, I don't know if people even consider this a sport, is snooker.
Okay.
Ronnie
Yeah.
O'Sullivan.
It's sport.
That's
Yeah.
one of those where it's like influence over fame. Where I say like he's influenced the game of snooker. Like, I don't watch it, but I feel like if you ask most people, they'd be like, "Yeah, he's that snooker player, isn't he?" And I
Yeah.
feel like any person who's aspiring to be a snooker player
Yeah.
will look up to somebody like that. And I think that's something that, rather than like, because he's not going to be popular on social media and shit like that, but there's probably like 500 NBA players that have more followers than him.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
But
I just
even
remember
like
as a kid
A-listers,
watching
yeah.
snooker as a kid, and it would just always be Ronnie O'Sullivan
Yeah.
or John Higgins, and it was always those two, and then that fucking Asian guy. Well, I can't remember his name.
Yeah. It's like Van Gogh and darts.
I don't know who Van Gogh is, but I know,
I do
Phil,
know
I know
who
Phil.
he is. He's,
yeah.
he's
I would say Phil
Sullivan.
Taylor was goat of darts.
Yeah, Phil Taylor, but
Yeah.
he's retired now, I think.
Is he?
Yeah. So Van Gogh was kind of like second, and now he's
Oh, sick.
up. I think he's Dutch.
Yeah,
Yeah,
a lot of
yeah,
Dutch,
he
a lot
is.
of Dutch,
A
you know,
lot
like
of Dutch.
Hendrix and all that people.
Well,
like
they
that.
love their pints. And darts.
Heineken.
It's like
Yeah. I mean, they got most of the breweries in there, like Heineken and Stella.
Stella.
Yeah, because they're all owned by the same company, aren't they? The brewery.
Diageo.
Is it Diageo that does those?
I think so.
Because Budweiser's that. What is that Budweiser one?
Carlsberg is
Bush
Heineken.
with whatever. Fuck knows. Different language. Different
Don't
language.
look at me.
Different
I
language.
don't feel uncomfortable being
I'm
put
still
on the
making my
spot.
list, so you just
So
go.
number 9 is my female one, which is Serena Williams.
Yeah, that's fair.
It's undisputed. I think she's like the goat of female sportsmen in general.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's just elite. And even if, you know, there's funny thing is like this whole debate about, you know, transgender people coming into different sports, and like, do you think it's totally fair at all?
Oh, it's not fair, but yeah, it's funny.
It's funny. I'm not. Let's not get into it because I feel like it would
Yeah.
cause so much. Like, oh my god! But like, Serena Williams herself has gone on to say the top 200 men of the tennis would beat her, and because of, you know, physical advantages in the male,
Yeah.
not anatomy, just the
Biology.
biology. Yeah,
The metaphysical state.
yeah. Number 8 might be a bit controversial because of how low he is. Tiger Woods.
No,
Yeah,
I think
don't
that's
have him
fair.
that low,
he doesn't.
but-
He doesn't play anymore. I don't think.
Yeah,
Like
he does.
at the time where he was at the height of his fame, he was making money that football players were jealous of.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
for years he was the highest paid sportsman
Full
in
stop.
the world
Yeah.
for years.
He,
and then
he
I
re-
think
didn't
now
he
maybe.
revolutionize like the sponsorship.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
him
Oh,
with
yeah.
Nike is like that's completely. It was Nike, wasn't it?
Like I think it was like in the 90s he was getting 40 mil a year.
He completely changed. Like, I know because someone we work with is extremely into golf.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
the stats I've heard about how dominant he is, by far the most dominant sportsman ever in their sport. Like you could say with Brady winning 7 Super Bowls now,
Yeah,
that is GOAT status for that sport. But I still feel like,
and he was so young at the time as well.
Yeah.
When he was dominating, it was like Jesus Christ.
but I feel like, yeah, I think it will take a long time. There might not be somebody ever as good at the sport as Tiger Woods.
I haven't. I mean, the only thing I can relate. Who's the guy who's been winning? The Scottish guy or the Irish guy?
Well, Rory McIlroy, is it?
Yeah, Rory McIlroy.
Oh,
He's
yeah,
the only
yeah,
one
But
I can
I
think of
still
that's
don't
come.
think he's even close.
Yeah, I don't.
Like,
Yeah,
I can't remember the stats off the top of my head, but there was one that was just like, yeah.
Okay, number 7. This one was only because he's won and equaled the titles this year. Hamilton.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, I think Michael
How the
Schumacher.
fuck is he not on my list yet?
I didn't even think of him
Who
actually.
tampered with my list?
So yeah, obviously it would have been Michael Schumacher, but I
Yeah.
think because Hamilton has still probably got a few more years left in him, I think he's he's equal at the minute, but he's definitely going to take over. I feel because he's just
Yeah.
he gets better and better. I feel
He's very big on social media with the Black Lives Matter movement as well.
Very
so I
much
think
so.
even if you're not into the F1, you are very much aware of him
Yeah.
in terms of how he's using his platform.
I think he's
Huge
done
advocate.
a similar thing to Tiger Woods, where he's kind of revolutionized sponsorships and that for that sport
Yeah.
as a whole.
He's
Because
on,
they've
like-
always they've dominated it since Ferrari were dominating it
he's-
beforehand. But
He's on like 75 mil a
he
year.
makes
He's
The
the same
sponsorship.
similar to Tiger Woods. Like, it's such a
Yeah.
young age as well.
Yeah,
He-
those two.
he was- there
those
was
two are
documentaries
always-
being made about him when he was 13 years old, because that's
Yeah.
how much potential he had, and he's lived up to his
Yeah,
expectations.
he's on my list as well now.
Number
As you
6
mentioned
is really controversial because I personally think he deserves everything because of it. They just didn't dirty Lance Armstrong,
He was a cheat though.
but everyone was a cheat.
that. Influential.
Everyone was a cheat. So
And
why
also-
should he take the fall for everyone's cheating? Everyone was doping at the time. Surely he should just maintain his titles. I get, yeah, fair enough, he cheated, but everyone was doping.
If you're not cheating, you're not trying.
So surely they were all sort of, they all had the similar
Yeah.
advantage
Yeah.
to him. So why should he take the fall for that? It just infuriates me. That's all.
I think he got the blame because he was the one that got caught, like first, and he won.
And if you're
Hmm.
anybody else, you want him to be the one caught, so you have a chance to win.
Yeah,
Because
exactly.
Imagine like 10 years later though, they go, oh, by the way, this guy was on a shit ton of drugs and like other performance enhancement methods. So now you get all of these medals, and you're there knowing full well you were doing the same thing, and you're just like, oh, wow, yeah, nice,
Oh, cheers.
wow,
He's
okay.
He's done a lot of good stuff though outside of the sport because obviously
Livestrong,
he had
isn't it?
testicular cancer, right?
Yeah, he had
Yeah,
those.
yeah.
Is it
So-
Livestrong?
Livestrong.
Yeah.
Yeah, Livestrong, like massive
Yeah.
philanthropist right
If
there.
you're talking about influential, he is the most famous
Yeah,
cyclist that has ever lived, I imagine.
And controversial as well. But
And I think we're just going with these lists just to make
Yeah.
it clear. We're just going for people that are currently alive.
yeah.
people that we've
I mean,
kind
no,
of
actually, no.
witnessed in our
Mine,
lifetimes.
one of them is one of mine is
Okay,
dead.
because
but-
I was going for alive because obviously if you're thinking
People
about
we've
ones
witnessed.
like Kobe or whatever, like
Yeah.
Kobe is extremely influential to the sport. Like we say Kobe all the time.
but
Don't even watch
I don't have
NBA.
basketball. I don't know. So you guys have basketball, I'm assuming, on yours, or do you?
I've
not?
got
Yeah.
some
I don't
basketball.
have
Yeah,
basketball
yeah.
on mine.
I
So
have two.
we can talk about basketball in a moment.
Yeah.
Number 5, Roger Federer.
Yeah, I've got him
Just-
on my list as well.
I do think that I feel like Nadal will take over eventually, though, if he keeps working it and doesn't get injured.
Yeah.
Just watching as a kid, like really into like I've always loved my tennis. It was one of my favorite sports when I was younger to play. I still is kind of the only sport I still play at the moment.
Just the fucking. Oh,
I watched some highlights today because Nadal actually lost earlier today to somebody who is a lot worse than him in a quarterfinal Australian Open. And Nadal is one of the loudest men you'll hear. He is.
this is so
yeah.
fucking.
He puts
noisy.
his all into it. But yeah, Nadal's always been my favorite. But watching the Nadal Federer, like
The 2008 Wimbledon.
just all those years, it felt like it was like 3 or 4 years where it was guaranteed those
Yeah.
two in the final.
It was
Yeah.
the El Clasico of
Yeah.
tennis.
Now
Well, it
it's
was
him,
like
and, him and Djokovic now, isn't
Yeah.
it? Yeah.
Like I think I was saying to you the other day about this. It was like having that to watch and then also having Man United versus Chelsea, who was going to win the title.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
felt like some of those years had to overlap.
Yeah.
And that was just the best. Because it was like every year I'm there like, come on, Nadal, you can be in this year. And most of the time
But we've
Federer
got like
won,
3.
but
Federer's still going strong though. He's
Federer
still-
is.
I-
And
I-
so is Nadal. both
Nadal
of
and
them.
Djokovic as well.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a shame that Murray didn't live up to the hype because
His
of his like
injuries
are
just
just
constant injuries.
horrible injuries. Yeah. But that's my number 5. I'll move on to number 4. Bolt, Usain Bolt,
Yeah.
Oh my god.
track and field.
How did I not think of
You didn't think of Bolt?
No.
Yeah, I mean, fastest man alive, fastest man that ever
Yeah.
lived so far.
But not in the bedroom.
9 seconds.
Nice.
But yeah, I mean, I don't really see anyone breaking that record for a long time. Long time. I mean, it was Asif Powell before him and the other guy, Michael something.
It was Tyson Gay.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't Tyson Gay.
What are you laughing at? That's his name,
I know.
bro. Gatlin.
No, these guys haven't even broke the record.
Yeah, but they're close.
Tyson Gay's old.
Oh, he's old.
I'm pretty sure he's retired now.
I swear the last Olympics
'Cause
I
it
saw,
was-
he's always kicking about and he's like middle of the pack, but it's like you're never gonna win it again. Like in his day, great, but
Yeah.
I didn't even think of him. And again, it's another person, Usain Bolt, where he's done so much outside of the sport now. Like he does all the, is it the Virgin adverts that he does?
Yeah, yeah.
Like all
Yeah,
his,
the
like,
Virgin adverts. Yeah,
Like he's making peas now. Like and he's
Oh, yeah.
I don't know much else that he does, but I'm pretty
Did a
sure
bit of
he's-
football on the side. Don't forget that.
Yeah, who did he?
I can't remember. what-
Newcastle Jets, I think.
Australia.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he signed for an Australia team.
Yeah, he
He's
scored.
always been
Didn't he
passionate
score
about
on
that.
his debut?
He scored 2 on his debut, and then I think he only played like 5 games after
Yeah.
that.
Didn't everyone rinse his FIFA card because it was 99 pace or something? Was it 99
Was he
pace?
on?
Or
I
did they
can't
do him
remember.
dirty?
I don't even know if they put him on FIFA. If they did, that is sick. But
It would have been
I
a
can't
bronze
remember.
though because it's like
Oh yeah, yeah.
I mean, fair play to him though. But
Yeah, that's
f-
a
number
great
3 is the most decorated Olympian of all time, Michael Phelps.
Phelps. Yeah, I think
Yeah.
he's on my list.
I didn't really think of Olympians.
Yeah, Michael
Like,
Phelps.
but these
my
make
God, that-
perfect sense.
That guy, when no, I didn't really know who he was until the Beijing Olympics, and he just 8 gold medals. Was it?
Yeah,
He
yeah.
just
7 or 8.
tore everyone a new one.
It's the most ever for one. Olympic.
35 Olympic medals.
It's crazy because scientists have like studied his anatomy, and they were like based on like his arm span to his height and everything. He is like biologically the most perfect human for like aquatic sports.
Really?
Yeah,
Isn't that the same with Bolt as well? Like his stride, like his height
Oh,
and his
yeah.
stride is like the perfect level
Yeah.
for like someone because he's got major stability on his
yeah.
head. It doesn't
It's
like
it's,
flatter.
it's something like the average Olympic sprinter does like 36 to 38 strides,
because he's so perfectly well
Yeah.
symmetrically
Yeah.
balanced
and he's
physically.
tall as well.
The
Yeah,
thing with
He's
Bolt, though,
taller.
he starts so slow. I swear.
Yeah,
Like just from, I don't think he was as much at the start, but I feel like he knew he was always going to win, so they were always slightly closer than you expected.
yeah.
Like he was never at the start.
it just
He
seemed
was
like
never at the front for the first like 20, 30 meters, I swear. And then he gets into this like chugging pace, and
Yeah.
he just past everybody, and you're just like, oh yeah, that's
30
that's,
miles per hour at top speed.
That's
that's
ridiculous.
the same speed as like a gazelle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Mad.
fucking mad.
Imagine somebody running past you at that speed.
He's allowed to run on roads in Jersey.
on
The
not
average
on green lanes.
Jersey
Not
country,
green
If he
lanes.
runs
road.
on green lanes, he could get points on his.
Okay, number 2. So I'm on football now. I've gone. It was difficult for me to choose, but I've gone for Messi.
Messi.
Yeah, It was between him and Ronaldo.
See?
I don't.
What?
I don't-
Ronaldo's not on your list, but he
I
is.
don't. It was between him and Ronaldo, right? But right now, in terms of like who I think is better, it's definitely Ronaldo. Who's like maintained the
Is it
consistency.
better or most famous? Because Ronaldo is like.
Influential, because Messi's just dominated. he
But
dominated
Ronaldo is the
sport.
most followed individual on like most social media
If
platforms. I
you
believe.
if you took his followers
think.
across all social media platforms and classed them as population,
Imagine
he
Me-
would be the 3rd largest country in the world.
Is he? Is it all right? I'm curious to see how
He
many.
has hundreds of millions on Instagram. I swear.
500 million. He's just crossed it.
Yeah.
Ronaldo's
How many does
fi-
Messi have? Sorry,
Yeah.
I'm a Ronaldo
Yeah, but
fanboy,
Messi's like a
still.
massive introvert because he's got
Messi,
Asperger's.
I'd say, is more influential on the sport.
Sorry, that was like,
No, he doesn't.
he's got Asperger's.
No, he's
I
got
swear
he
Messi's
has
got Asperger's.
he has a growth disorder. That's why he's so small.
Yeah, but he's also got Asperger's.
What you mean is he's got
Asperger-
skillage. He
Does
does have skillage.
Messi
but,
have Asperger's? I'm pretty sure he's got Asperger's or like some form
You
of
got
autism.
skillage.
I really want it to be a no.
Yeah, he's autistic. He's got Asperger's. I fucking told you. Look at the shit. He's got diagnosed with Asperger's at the age of 8. That's why he doesn't probably have like social media and stuff.
That's Quora. That's not even Wikipedia. How can we trust
Yeah,
that?
that's us, bro.
It's us.
I'll believe it.
Hey, you
First
believe it 'cause
option,
it
first
backs up
result.
He
your
doesn't
opinion.
really do that many interviews, does he? Like, and he's
No.
proper when it comes to like doing the
Other
Ballon
than,
d'Or.
other than like, I'm fed up with Barcelona. I want to
Yeah.
go.
But influential
Mummy,
to the
can we
sport.
go? Mummy, Mummy, I'm scared.
scared. Can you pick me up?
Can you pick me up? I want myself.
It reminds me of the episode of In Between Us when Will
Yeah.
swallows the weed and he's like,
I'm in a
"Someone call an
bubble.
ambulance and my mum."
I want my mummy.
But
Okay.
influence to the sport, I 100% agree. Like, people think of him as the most talented
He's just.
player that's ever.
It's a
Yeah.
God-given gift.
Yeah. Where Ronaldo, it feels like it's a lot more hard.
Yeah.
I respect
Hard work.
Ronaldo more than I respect Messi though,
Yeah.
because of how
Like-
incredibly hard he's worked.
Like I can admire Messi, but I envy Ronaldo because he's basically like if you dedicated yourself entirely to one thing, that's what you could potentially be.
Yeah.
It's my favorite story is like when Eto tells the story of like when he went round to his just for like a lunch.
Oh, and
they
it was,
ended
like,
up doing
boiled chicken breast.
training, boiled chicken, and just like the cleanest
Yeah.
food you could eat.
Yeah.
He doesn't even drink. Like when they won like the Champions League and stuff, he wouldn't have a sip of alcohol.
I mean, look at him. His physique is just
See?
It's all the
like
ab.
it's like literally
it's his
like
ab
five-
machine.
It's the training gear, six pad.
That 6-pad thing is so
Yeah.
funny, man.
Okay, number one, Muhammad Ali.
I didn't think of boxers. I keep saying this for every time. I didn't think about much, but
That's fair.
Fair, yeah.
I think
I
that's
think.
very
I
fair.
mean, just
a lot
like,
of people might have thought of maybe Tyson.
Mike Tyson. Yeah.
Float like
Which
a
one though?
butterfly,
It could be
stick like-
Tyson Fury. It could be Mike Tyson.
Yeah, actually, I didn't even think of
Oh,
that. Yeah.
God.
Yeah. I
I'm not
broke
gonna
my
lie.
back. It's spinal.
But
Tell
yeah,
me you've
Ali,
seen that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, well, I mean, just look what he did in the ring, like heavyweight champion of the world twice, and then also
Two-time.
like a massive, advocate for the civil rights movement,
Yeah.
and also like fought Vietnam War.
Can't believe you didn't pick Rocky Balboa. More
Let's go,
influential.
Yeah, Shannon the Cannon Brooks. Let's go, Shannon.
Kind of-
Where's
I'm
KSI
surprised
on
I
your
didn't
list,
take
bro?
Logan Paul.
Icon.
All of the
Icon.
pools.
Oh
All
god!
of
I
the
mean, that's
pools.
another thing as well. Like Jake Paul fighting Floyd Mayweather. No, not Jake Paul. Logan fighting Floyd soon. That got postponed, didn't it?
Yeah,
Um,
because apparently
yeah.
there was not enough interest. Like that's actually the reason there wasn't enough interest.
Really?
That blows my mind.
People have forgotten. I
Oh, what-
feel like a lot of people have forgotten about that. I think literally.
It's
I'm
just
not
because
sure
you
whether there
can't
was
get any
enough.
audiences in at the minute.
Yeah.
Also, what they were going to do is for the pay-per-view online, you were going to have to pay ahead of time. So you weren't going to be able to buy it on the night. You're going to have to like
That's
pre-order.
Floyd's management
Yeah.
just like, let's get the money
That's
before
Eddie
we
Hearn
even-
in the background. Like,
I think Floyd's guaranteed like 14 million from the contract, just straight up, and then he gets like a flat fee of the pay-per-view.
Do you think once he's fully retired, we'll consider him the GOAT of boxing or not?
50 and 0.
I mean,
Like
Currently.
50 and
I
0.
know.
I just don't like his style of fighting. So
It's
Run-
so boring.
it'd run away.
It's so boring.
But
yeah.
it
It's just a master of what he does, though. It's about not getting hit
he
and
does
hitting.
hit very fucking hard as well. But I just think, yeah, I can't say I've watched loads and loads of his fights, but the ones that I've seen, he's very reserved with his fighting. I think that's what I just prefer.
He's another one like
people like
Ronaldo.
Tyson. I
He's
just
always in
prefer
the
what-
gym,
yeah.
constantly in the gym. He lives for it.
The money team.
Yeah,
That's
man.
what he calls his fucking group.
He's got the world's most expensive watch as well, doesn't he? It's like
Could
19
not-
million.
Could not tell you. Could not tell. I'm pretty sure Ronaldo's got like the most expensive car.
Oh, the Bugatti
It's
Devo or
Bugatti.
something. Yeah, yeah.
Bugatti.
Well, where there's like 3 of them. on
He
the
got a
planet
one
or
of
some
one,
Shit.
I think.
A 1 of 1.
It's like completely
How do you
blacked
even
out.
price something like that? I guess you just estimate.
I think it was
But then
a.
then it's just however much somebody would pay for, it. And I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure there's like a Saudi prince who would be like, "I'll give you £1 billion
Yeah,
for that.
I think they wanted to give it to someone
my
who was
wife.
like,
I need to funnel this
My
money
7
somewhere." Yeah,
wives
yeah,
and my daughter.
to my goat.
You're like camel.
Camel much faster than Bugatti.
Camel give you meat and warmth.
yeah.
That
Camel,
has 1,000 horsepower. I give you 2,000 horses. That's double. That's double the value. You got double as fast. Yeah, that's how it works.
Oh, did you guys want to reveal your lists?
yeah.
I'm just gonna say any that weren't mentioned already,
Okey-dokey.
because most of those obviously.
What do you feel about my list, though, like from your preference?
I'm-
Shit. I'm joking.
You're entitled to your opinion.
Yeah. All right. Thank you. Cheers.
Just wrong.
Yeah.
I think I'd have Ronaldo on there instead, just purely for the fact of
Yeah.
how popular he is on social media, how much more vocal he is. Yeah, I'd have him. I also put Conor McGregor on my list
McGregor.
because I think he has brought so many more eyes to the UFC than there ever was before. Like
a wild fan.
Dana
I mean-
White must have made more money since Conor McGregor entered the scene than he did in the fucking like 20 years previous to that. Like Conor McGregor is the cash cow of that sport. Anyone who
But
fights
like in
him-
terms of like fighters though, isn't it Khabib or is
Khabib is a better one, but if you're talking about like influential on the sport, I feel like he has changed it a lot. And
I just remember
so
that,
many
that
more
time
people
period where
interested.
you just couldn't escape social media without seeing
Yeah.
something about Conor McGregor.
Yeah, you could ask people who do not have a clue about that would never want to watch people fight, but you could say, "Do you know Khabib?" They'd say, "Don't have a fucking clue."
Yeah.
It's Conor McGregor.
Do you know Khabib
Oh, yeah, he's a-
Nurmagomedov? What?
The never heard of.
Nurmagomedov?
The-
Yeah. But
But
Conor
yeah,
McGregor,
Conor McGregor is a
the
household
walk,
name. Yeah.
fucking everyone knows. Like, what's Conor McGregor's best asset? Left hand.
Yeah. Left hand.
Like you just know all the clips. It's just they come in
Yeah.
left hook or straight left.
Mhm.
They're out.
Yeah. And we're saying this after you recently fought
Got knocked
Poirier
the
and
fuck
got
out.
absolutely clapped.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't think that changes the fact. Obviously, it'll be a bit of a shame for his legacy if he keeps fighting and keeps doing shit. It'd be nice for him to have like a resurgence in his career. Because I think he's doing sound with P's. Like, he's got his proper 12, he's got all that type
How old
of
is
stuff.
he?
30.
Gotta be early 30s. Yeah.
So what's like the life expectancy of a UFC fighter? Not like,
Well,
you know, like
there's-
life
Career, like
career wise.
35.
Alistair Overeem is 43 and he fought last weekend.
And did he win?
No, but he was he did go on like a six match unbeaten run just
Yeah.
before it. So
I think it matters what type of fighter you are.
age is just a
And
number.
also the fights that you've had.
I mean, yeah, Mike Tyson came back.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, yeah, it's whatever your body feels, I guess. Yeah, if
But
you,
I think I'd put him on my list. I'm not sure whether...
even footballers are getting older. Like, look at Zlatan, 39.
Ronaldo looks like he still has 5 more years in him.
Ronaldo's
What's
30,
he,
35,
like,
36.
maybe even like...
And they're
He's
like, those
36
two are
now.
like the top goal scorers of the Serie A at the minute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think because of like what's been introduced with like, you know, diet and like, you know, stretching and like warming up and
How
everything,
much they
All the
can
different
work
types of
out.
recovery.
recovery, it's become such a
How much they can work out about each player's body. Like,
Yeah.
they have tens of
Science.
people, even hundreds of people behind every football
Yeah.
team that are just working out the little like statistics and shit like that they can use to improve a player's performance or just improve like their health.
They've even got like cryogenic chambers that they do for like to speed up recovery in between matches if
Yeah.
you've got like a 48-hour turnaround.
cold exposure.
Yeah, it's no
cold
longer
exposure,
like-
man.
yeah.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
It's no longer like ice bath. Like I think still some people do ice bath, but they've gone past that with
Yeah.
like cryo chambers and shit like that.
It's like quicker. It's just more efficient.
Yeah.
It's obviously more expensive.
The only one I've seen, the one that recently saw do that was Mark Wahlberg when he does his workouts. You know, I think it was the James Corden did a thing with him, and you know how he wakes up at 4 a.m.
Yeah,
He
yeah,
has
and
like
then
the strictest
immediately-
regime out there, I swear.
Yeah.
yeah. He goes to
30
bed.
minutes of prayer.
He goes to
13.
30 minutes.
30.
3-0. 30 minutes of prayer.
but he goes to bed at like 7:30
I know.
every night. He's like 7:30 till 4 a.m.
But he's wham.
He is
He's
one.
fucking jacked.
He's
bro.
wham and rich, and he has Wahlburgers. He actually does. It's a burger chain over in the US called Wahlburgers.
Does he own that? I thought that was like
Yeah,
a
it's
joke.
Wahlburg, isn't it?
I
Yeah.
thought it was like a joke.
Let me double check, but I'm pretty sure it is.
Welcome to Wahlburgers, eh?
Welcome to Chili's.
Hi, welcome to Chile.
But
Yeah, they open at 4 a.m. and close at 7:30. No, they don't, but that'd be funny. It's just like,
That'd be fucking hilarious.
and you've got to pray for half an hour before you get your food.
before you get your food, yeah.
You gotta pray you're gonna get some food.
yeah. Wahlburgers. It just is HL burgers.
Yeah, so my list was I think I kind of did it irrespective of sport. It was more like iconic moments
Right.
who everyone talks about for a specific sport. Like if you went up to someone and you said football,
Right.
who would they say? Like if you said basketball, who would they say? If you said boxing, who would they say in terms of relevancy? So like Muhammad Ali, obviously the GOAT of the sport,
Yeah.
but not talked about now. Like in as much detail. Like in the same way, like you wouldn't have like Anthony Joshua fight and then be like, oh, but Muhammad Ali would knock him out, type thing.
It's a very hard topic, this, because then it's just like, is it influential, famous, most talented.
That I feel like that's purely just down to how good the heavyweight division is at the moment.
Yeah.
You can't really. There's no point comparing them to old athletes because you've got like Fury, you've got AJ, you've got Deontay, and then you've also got what's his name, that Eastern European guy who's just come.
Povetkin,
Povetkin, not Povetkin.
Usyk.
Usyk, yeah, because he's unbeaten at the minute as well.
Have
I
you
believe.
seen that Ryan Garcia?
Yes, mate.
Yeah, yeah.
He's-
Did you see his fucking shot on that guy? He got knocked down for the first time. This Ryan Garcia in his fight, first time he's ever been knocked down. I know he only has like a short career because he's young, but this guy looked like he was going to beat him. Got late into the fight, which normally doesn't happen in his fights because he's got fucking insane knockout power
his
for his
hooks.
size.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he hooked him in the fucking like here, and this guy just he crumpled the kid. The guy just fell down to his knees and was just there, just like that, and he just did not move. He wasn't like lying down. He was just like on all fours, just how he still has that power in like the 12th round to just I don't know. It was like one of the last rounds to generate it, and this guy was just stood there and just fell to his knees. Like you could see he had to have fractured.
slow
some
mo
Yeah,
Rose
ribs.
he's
in
the
that.
next
He
big thing,
had
man.
to
Next
fracture
next
some
big
ribs.
thing for sure.
But
I
he's
thought
one
he
of
was a
those.
TikToker.
But he does do like he does do like challenges and shit. I was just about to say he's one of those ones who's becoming really popular on social media. Firstly, because he's young, and he also does like I think he has one of those like YouTube Red series where he
Okay.
does like training with, and he's done like Charlie D'Amelio or like Addison Rae or whatever, and he gets them in like the gym and they do like typical like workouts, and because he became like famous on TikTok for how quick he was on the like
Speed bag.
like ridiculously quick on it. So he like tests him in that, and then he also did like a thing on TikTok where he'd like get his mates to wear like the body thing that you
Oh,
put
okay,
around
yeah,
him,
yeah,
and
yeah.
he'd just take a dig and then crumple even with the thing. Like I don't know how good.
What weight
he
division is he in? It's not. Is it like?
Fun knows it's small. It might be like featherweight or lightweight or
thinking
something like that.
featherweight's light.
He's quite bulky, but he's like he doesn't look that tall.
Okay.
I'll check what weight.
So it could be like
You just
featherweight.
continue, but yeah.
Yeah.
Was it Ryan Garcia?
So you what would you have said for boxing then for your list?
In terms of relevance,
Anissa Gibb.
Gib, KSI, Liverpool.
Yeah.
Nah,
Deji.
my list. Yeah, my list wasn't like per sport.
Lightweight.
It was just lightweight. Okay. So he could fight McGregor. Like,
Yeah,
he
because
wouldn't.
is
but
lightweight up to 155.
155 pounds.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, so mine was. I'll go from the top because from memory we're using my phone, so I don't have my list. I think it went Ronaldo, Messi, LeBron James, Kobe. Then I think it went Neymar.
Neymar.
Yeah. Wait.
Neymar's a rogue one, but I do get what you mean because he's one of those who is extremely famous, but I'm not sure how influential he'll be. I'm not sure how many people are going to speak about him in like 20, 30 years' time. Which sounds
Yeah.
ridiculous because I know he is
He's just so
I know
underwhelming
he's
of what he's
been one of
achieved.
the
Yeah.
best, and it might be because I'm not that big of a fan of Neymar, but I feel like he has always been on the fringes of that. Like for years, he was like the third best player in the world. A lot of people
Yeah.
were just like, he is the closest that there's going to be towards what Ronaldo and Messi are doing. He wasn't close to it, but that is the bar that's being set. And then Mbappe like turned 18 and was just like, okay, I'm going to take the
Okay.
spot.
And I took that personally.
Yeah, took that firstly. But I don't know. I feel like I'd say Mbappe over Neymar.
Yeah. That's what I was torn between. It was either Mbappe or Neymar.
And I know Mbappe's young, obviously, but if
Yeah.
Mbappe keeps going on this level, he could go down as like one of the best that we've watched in our lifetimes. I
Yeah.
think because he must be like, how old is he
22.
And he
That's
just scored a
fucked.
hat trick at the Camp Nou.
against Barca?
Won a World
I
Cup.
prefer Haaland though. I prefer Haaland. I don't know what
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it because he's a rapper?
No, I prefer.
What
I
you
just-
get? What you
because I think it's more likely that we'll see Haaland either in the Prem or on the what do you call it?
Yeah, because he doesn't have the price tag.
I think we'll see Mbappe in the Prem at some point.
You think?
I feel like every player that wants to be one of the best ever moves to the Premier League at some point.
Yeah.
A lot of the time they move too late, and it's just like you're past your prime. You're not
Yeah.
getting to show
Cavani.
the Premier League.
Like Cavani.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
Cavani's doing good now, but he's not like this. Is not where people are just like, oh my god, he's a game changer to the sport or to the league.
Or
I
like
mean,
Zlatan as well.
yeah, because Zlatan even came to. I'm a United fan. He came to United and he did do all right, but no one saw him and was just like, oh my god, this is a Zlatan that people have been
Yeah.
thought is one of the best strikers
What
in the last 20 years.
What I hated about, but I guess still hate about Zlatan, is he, like especially at United. I think he won the Europa League while he was there.
Mm-hmm.
He then went to LA Galaxy, and in one of his first interviews, he was like, "Yeah, I conquered the Premier League." Did you fuck? You finished like 5th or 6th.
Yeah.
Won the Europa League,
But that's
which
what he's
is
like,
It's
innit?
just ego, man.
That's just what he's
Huge
like.
ego.
But his overall stats for his career is really underwhelming for someone who is held to such a high regard in football.
You think?
Yeah.
I do respect how good he's doing now.
I think he's just
Yeah.
been. I think he's been
Is
like
he top goal scorer at the moment in
It's,
Serie A?
I think it's him or Ronaldo or Immobile
Immobile.
Yeah.
Lukaku might be
or
up there as
Lukaku.
well.
Yeah, I think.
Did you see the Lukaku argument with Ibra?
Yeah.
That was ruthless, because did you hear why the argument was happening?
Something about the mum.
Yeah, because Ibra started saying something about Lukaku's mum, and then that's when Lukaku got really angry. I
they were
think it was when the
teammates, weren't
game
they?
ended.
They were
But
They were teammates at
Yeah.
United, yeah.
So top goal scorer is Lukaku at the minute, and then it's Ronaldo, and then
Immobile.
Immobile, and then
I'm
Zlatan.
surprised he
I
can
love
play.
how two of our previous strikers are the two of the top 4 goal scorers in that league, and we have Martial.
Actually, that's technically free.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Stop, fair, when we
stop
had
rubbing
Ronaldo-
it in.
To be fair, when we had Ronaldo, he was a scrawny winger, so it's a bit
Yeah, but
different to being like
those
the
two
dominant
seasons
striker.
though, where he fucking tore everyone a new.
Oh
one.
yeah, he was great for the last couple of years with us, but he transformed his game at Real Madrid.
No, yeah.
Like, 'cause that's the thing. Didn't we see the other
Mourinho
day?
effect.
Because he played like, what was it, 100? This might be wrong, but it's like somewhere near 200 games for United, and it's at least 400 games for Real Madrid.
Mm.
He played like those are the years where he
It was-
completely revolutionized his game. Like, he got bulkier, he had more of a physical presence. He wasn't just, because a lot of the time when he was at United, he was just this like little winger that was just like amazing at skills and
He
taking on
dived
people.
so much.
Yeah, him and Nani were fucking OGs in the game for that.
Yeah.
Don't
Yeah.
forget Drogba.
Yeah. To be fair, you had Hazard.
Say it to his face.
You had Hazard, so chill the fuck
Did
out.
you?
Like,
Yeah, I
Hazard
got a lot
like
for
that.
got a lot for Drogba.
And Torres.
Oh my god! Oh my god!
Dirty. Chelsea and Liverpool. Disgusting.
Yeah.
Disgusting. I had LeBron on my list as well.
Yeah.
Did you have any other sports in there besides like any obscure ones, like for example, darts? Or
No.
Rugby.
No.
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 I
Who's
know-
you could have picked, I guess, for rugby, like Johnny Wilkinson. Is it Johnny Wilkinson?
Yeah.
Technically,
He's pretty.
Well, influential again.
in
but
our
famous.
lifetime, he's the only one that really stands out, or him,
Yeah.
or Tuolangis.
Recently, I was about to say the Tuolangis are
Yeah.
kind of the ones that I talked about the
They're
most,
fucking terrifying.
but I don't know what they've done. If you get me,
Yeah, I'm not. I mean,
like I know they play
should
rugby.
we get Ewan on the podcast?
Yeah,
Rugby lad.
rugby.
But again, with these
Wonder what's in
lists,
it.
it's just extremely hard to do because you got to pin down exactly whether you're saying most influential on the sport, most famous, that starts to take into account social media rather than what you've actually done for the sport,
Yeah,
or just raw talent.
yeah. I think Ronaldo and Messi are like on a completely different level on the pure basis. You only have to call them by their last names.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tiger Woods, LeBron James, Kobe Bryant, like Michael Jordan, you could say Jordan, but then
Yeah.
You
He's
know.
not the most famous Michael Jordan at the minute, is he? Michael B. Jordan. Killmonger.
I know,
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
Creed.
Yeah.
yeah. Anyway,
But just
Like the
on
best
that point,
boxer.
that might also be because we are heavily favoured towards watching football to the other sports. So we do have to put a
But it's the most
disclaimer
popular
like,
sport in the world, though.
yeah, But I'm just saying, like, someone in America might be able to say James.
Association
it's
football, that
obviously
is. You
LeBron
can't say,
James. That's what I mean with us. We're like, we know when you say Ronaldo or Messi, but someone in the US might be able to say
Yeah.
like Curry or James, and they know they're talking about Steph or LeBron.
I still think it's safe to conclude that the original list that was drawn up is so wrong.
Yeah, it's
It
too. It's
is-
very American centric.
It's American centric. I wouldn't say it wrong because a lot of US people might agree with the list.
It's
like
wrong.
to us, it's wrong. It's,
It's
wrong.
wrong.
It's wrong.
What's a Ronaldo? What's
Is
a
there no-
Messi?
Is there
No,
no
that
Ronaldo
you-
or Messi on the list?
No, wait. That's what basically when you think about it, you'd be like, "What's?" They would be like, "What's a Ronaldo? What's a Federer?
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
what's a Phil Taylor?"
But I think just having like the Super Bowl 110 million viewers every single year. The World Cup 1.1 billion for the 2018 one. So you could have all 4 years of the Super Bowl viewers put together, double it, it's still 300 million short of the World Cup. Like there's no
Get good,
comparison.
idiots.
There's no comparison to the sports being rivaled whatsoever.
I mean, it does annoy me slightly the fact that they call it football as well,
Yeah.
because
Well-
they use their fucking hands for most.
Well-
Hand egg.
Yeah, why can't they just call it hand egg or something silly? Like that?
Fun fact to put you boys in your place with that. The British actually coined the phrase soccer in the 18th century. It was called soccer in order to separate it from a different type of football,
got,
which they called
Imposter right here.
Yeah.
You sure
Which
you're not
is
fucking
the-
American?
Which
Yellows
they-
and yellows and imposter. Fucking emergency
Yeah.
meeting.
but they used to call rugby football
Right.
back in the day, so they called it soccer and rugby football in order to distinguish. So then when we still had influence in the US, and obviously we were colonizing and kind of taking the language over, setting up and everything.
Yeah.
Soccer is what was used to distinguish it.
Yeah.
So they had soccer,
I'm gonna
and then
I'm
they
gonna
came up with
bleep,
football.
bleep it out.
Bleep out this
the
entire
slave,
thing and just
slave,
say-
slave trade. Because I guess the first thing that came to my head. I'm sorry. Sorry.
That was sound for a second. and
Yeah,
then-
it's just because you were talking about colonizing, and
Yeah.
I was
Colonizing the moon.
like, Trace rhythm.
Trace Hiller rhythm. It was
Ah,
just
not again.
unfortunate, innit?
Gotta remember to cut this shit out.
Cut
now.
the shit out.
I'll bleep it. I'll bleep
Yeah.
it. Don't worry.
Yeah.
So, are we concluding that right there, or are we?
We're concluding. The list was fucking bullshit.
I think
Thank
the
you
list-
for watching.
Yeah. I think the list just wasn't diverse enough across sports.
Yeah,
Yeah, didn't even consider volleyball,
beach volleyball.
which is Tom Morris.
Oh yeah.
obviously. Tom Morris is the goat of volleyball.
Tim Tom,
What was it? Sportsman of Winchester to 2018.
sports personality of the year.
Sorry, Tom.
Big chungus.
Big chungus.
I led them to the league title in Division 5.
Do you know someone I'm thinking now? Like, could you say currently if you're doing that list, could Marcus Rashford be on it?
No.
What? He's on.
No.
The, he's on the
I know his name, but-
Times. He's in the Times top 100 most
No,
influential
I don't.
people.
I wouldn't even consider it
Came up
because
today.
he's not.
Yeah, top
the
100,
impact
not
he's had on
top 10, bro.
Yeah, that's just another zero.
He's not had really that big of an impact on football though. Besides maybe a FIFA thing,
He's
FIFA
in-
feature being based on his story.
Yeah, but I'm more talking about like if you're talking about like famous. Yeah, but if you're talking about famous, think every mum who's never watched football before knows who Marcus Rashford is
In the
because of
UK.
him being yeah.
65 million people. You gotta think about
That's
the
a
rest of the
decent
world
Bobby, like
that don't care.
I'm just giving
With
an
Brexit going on, you think they want to know about a footballer
I'm giving
doing
an
good in the
honourable
UK?
mention because that is another thing where you're just like he is influential because he's actually doing something good, and also everybody's known about him because he's in the news.
Wait till he finds out about the country Hungary.
What other sportsmen have been in the news more than him
Fuck's
this
sake,
year?
Kyle.
Except for last year. There definitely has been others, but I'm just saying this is something that I guess when you're doing that list, if he's somebody who
Respect.
could be in like the if it was a journalist in the UK doing it, they'd include it where the US obviously have their more US centric options. I feel like if a journalist in the UK was doing it, they'd have a bias obviously,
Yeah,
and they might pick somebody like him.
yeah. I'll let him have an honourable mention.
Yeah,
but
it's
Yeah.
an
he's
honourable
not
mention,
top
but
top.
He
I
can be
wouldn't- I
11th.
would never consider.
Yeah.
I never consider.
He'll be
it.
the 11th man.
Maybe,
He'll be the
maybe,
12th man,
maybe
so he's
give
on
it,
the
give it a
bench.
few more years. You
Okay.
never know, like, because he's only what 22, 23.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
something
like,
like
let him have his.
Man's
Im-
gone MBE cuz.
that. Ballet.
Ballet.
All right, I think that concludes the podcast, gentlemen.
Yeah,
It's
Thank you for
been.
listening.
It's been.
it's been.
It's
And,
been.
thank you for listening.
Let's get it.
Hope you enjoyed it.
And see you in the next episode.
Make sure to like the video, share it to your mates, let them know that there's 3 guys that just talk about shit. But it's pretty interesting. See you in the next one.
See ya.
Peace.